1, 2, 3.
Whoever you are, stay out of my mind!
Hello, and welcome to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show, but stay out of my mind. All right. Well,
Can't tell me what to do.
Settled.
Happy birthday.
Us to fulfill my dream, working for a better future for all, mutant and human alike.
It's what we're doing here at X-Rated. We're working
That's right.
for
That's
the
the
betterment
whole
of human
goal.
and mutant alike. It's the
Always
whole
has
thing.
been.
But you were about to say?
Happy birthday, Davan.
Thanks. What are you
Today-
drinking? I'm drinking the Wiser's Deluxe.
Glen Nevin.
Simple Canadian fare. Oh, yours is a little fancier, that's for sure. Glen
It's,
Nevin. I've had that
from-
one before.
Yeah, it's from Guysborough, just outside Antigonish, which is near where I
Yeah.
grew up. So it was a gift from my mom for Christmas.
Nice.
And I didn't even realize I'd opened it already, but apparently at some point in my travels I had.
We'll have a cheers to me.
So how old are you today, Davan?
39
Slancha.
yesterday, actually. Slancha
39. You old fucker.
I am.
Have you lived this long in this planet? Haven't nobody killed you yet? I don't understand.
Well, they've tried. But I'm a cagey old bastard.
I think after listening to your movie podcast, Chris Murphy would have tried at least a couple times.
He's the problem there, not me.
I was happy to see that you did like Doctor Strangelove because that is a classic.
Love Doctor Strange.
I know you
I
did.
loved every second of it. Second of it. As soon as it was over, I wanted to watch it again immediately.
It's one of my all-time favorites as well. It's a
My
classic.
God, every performance is perfect. Dave is crazy. Cousin Dave is crazy. I mean, he doesn't think the Doctor Strangelove character is funny or really even that movie. He's crazy. Sorry, Cousin Dave.
I'm surprised that Dave seems to really enjoy romantic comedies, which seems funny to me. I don't know a lot of people in our age bracket that are males that really enjoy it as much as he seems to, which is cool. I haven't got to the American.
I think he has a romantic notion about the world.
Good for him. There's not a lot of people with those anymore.
He's not nearly as jaded as you and I, for example.
That is true. I am fairly jaded, although I think some of your diatribes in that show, I want to reach in and strangle you, or at least just scream why you're wrong in your face, which is good. That's why I like
You're welcome to come on and do that.
You went a big tirade against how Baby Yoda was basically just a ripoff of Gizmo, and
it is.
Well,
he looks the exact same,
but also if
Gizmo green, he's Baby Yoda.
If you want to do a baby version of Yoda, what do you think it's going to look like? That's what it's going to look like.
A Baby Yoda. Don't do.
Well, then you guys are
it's for toys like everything else Star Wars. You're getting me on a rant now.
Yeah, I do, and I want to because I want to defend a couple things. And you got Chris slagging on the Mandalorian for being a ripoff of Lone Wolf and Cub. So we can never do any movies ever about a guy looking after a kid that he needs to protect. So The Last of Us, they can cut that off TV. Every movie that ever came out, there's like 6 stories in every movie, right?
Yeah.
So you guys can't.
And they were all done by Homer.
You can't dismiss something because it came before. Because if you then every single thing you're watching, even the things that seem original, probably aren't, because of the amount of stuff that's out there. There's no 100%. Way.
There's no original ideas anymore.
Exactly. So don't slag on something for being a good version of a story we've seen before, because that's everything. That's everything now.
It's everything.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my
comics.
I do really dig
comics. Then you've seen stories told.
That is true. You've seen them insane stuff over and over.
Especially if you're
rebooted and then done again.
We all love Spider-Man, but
that's true.
There's been a lot of replays.
And if you're a DC fan, the universe just gets restart every 10 years. You learn it all again.
Yeah, there you go.
But this time it's slightly different. Amanda Waller's thinner this time. So welcome back to the New 52.
Well, I am your host.
He's young and scared, and he has no idea how powerful he is.
Half of that is true, and I'm not going to say which half.
I like how you find those. Those are you find the perfect ones for those. It's a good talent you have.
Thanks, man. I like to think I work sound effects pretty well. Your host, Davan McTaggert. And with me as always, is my host, co-host. My God, what's wrong with me?
I'll be your host, buddy.
Baby's got me frazzled, I'll tell you that.
What
My
is happening
co-host.
here?
Oh my God, stop. I didn't replace that soundboard yet because I tried. I downloaded 3 more and they all sucked in comparison to the crappy one I have. So, I don't know. I'm working on the problem. But anyway, my co-host is here.
A confused, anxious mind.
I wouldn't say
a great
confused.
co-host.
Anxious is probably accurate, but I wouldn't say confused. Jaded anxious.
I changed your intro to that at the last second. It was actually going to be this.
You are
Never mind. That's
oh
not
man,
the right one.
Marge singing "You Are So Beautiful" might be a better intro. I'll take that.
It was the wrong.
You're in your Simpsons
Do
show.
you see any other beautiful women around?
Definitely not. Definitely not in this chat box here. You're not seeing no beautiful women around, unless my wife walks in.
The
but I think
birthday,
it's
I'm
gonna
allowed to
happen.
screw up the sound effects.
It's totally fine, and that's no different than any other day. That's why we love you.
Oh.
You beautiful lug, you.
Thanks for putting up with my shit, ex-goons.
It's a lot of shit, but it's good. It's good shit. It's good shit.
Here we are, the X-Men animated review show. Your hosts, Davan and Andre.
Did you pronounce my name right and my code name today?
Oh, I didn't. Fasten Andre. What's that all about?
Oh, it might have to be an X point if you don't understand what it's from. So,
okay,
we'll
save
get there.
that one then.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're here to review Season 4, Episode 11, Proteus Part 1 of the X-Men animated series, written by Bruce Reed Schaefer, I believe, new writer to the series. I like this episode, so good opening in volley for him, and directed by Larry Houston.
The great Larry Houston.
The great. No, not late.
I was going to say he's not dead. Jesus.
No, he's not. Sorry, Larry.
Larry's. I'm still alive. I got better.
I'm kidding. Love you.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're not gonna get him on the show now. Talking like
yes,
that, wishing him dead. Well, yeah. So we're here watching Proteus Part 1, which is another launch right after a two-parter into yet another two-parter. This time we a little quieter of an episode, not so much time travel, but also something that is a very old story that is reused again in this comic and in this TV show. Yeah,
that's the tortured or abandoned child or son trying to.
Yes, and even more specifically, there's a child that can warp reality, so that everyone's scared of. So we can get into that too. But I'll bring that up a little later. That's one of my recommendations. So all right. So Proteus Part 1.
Is it Carrie?
Oh, that would have been good, but no, it's not.
That works too, kind of.
It does. That would have been a good one, but that's not what I chose, unfortunately. But that is a good side recommendation. And actually, I'm a big Brian De Palma fan, and that's one I haven't watched yet. I've just been waiting for a magical day. Carrie. I've watched a lot of his other movies.
You've never seen Carrie?
No, but I've watched.
Oh my God, you're the guy who's seen every movie.
No, it's not true. There's several big holes in my watch list I got to get to, and will someday.
Me too, and that's what I'm filling in with the Hold Up podcast.
I'm digging that show, man. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, I'm glad you're liking it.
Yeah, I'm almost afraid.
Everyone go watch Dr. Strangelove. Seriously,
I honestly don't want to be on it because I feel to ruin it as a fan. I don't know. I'm enjoying it.
I don't know about that.
Well, I know about that. So, you can always tell when an X-Men animated show starts that we're going to visit with Moira McTaggart because we get the bagpipes right off the get-go. And as you see the misty moors of all of Scotland, well, the waves
of Scotland,
the waves crash against the waves crash against the rocks. As we come across Muir Island,
the Hebrides and the Flannan Isles.
The Flannan Isles. Oh yes. Well, oh no, I should have got a Scotch. I mean, I got a whiskey, but not a Scotch. We're going to Scotland. I should have got a Scotch anyway.
Yeah, me too. Oh well.
Yeah, it's all right. So we see inside of the lab. Fun little nod to some previous stuff we'll bring up as an X point if you don't already. But then we see the lab, and we see that we have a special area that's kind of cordoned off with laser beams. Let me turn the music down so I don't hear it and then distract myself. With beams going into a certain cell where a mutant is being bombarded with light by Moira McTaggart and Banshee, who are watching. We learn that this thing is helping this mutant, although it is hurting this mutant. But Moira is working hard to cure him.
It's hurting me.
It's the only way, Kevin.
You must both be strong.
It's
gotta
the
say, though,
only
as-
way, Kevin. Her name and voice
As a-
is Scottish.
I know. Yeah, I know how much you love Moira's Scottish accent.
It's pretty intense, I must say.
She's going all in on it, though.
Oh my
She's
God, is
going
she
in.
ever?
It's great. But I gotta say, as a fresh parent, this episode definitely hits a lot different than it did before as a kid. Like, there's imagining yourself as in Moira's position as a parent having to like cause her child pain. Like that's just a impossible conundrum, and I don't want to think about it.
That is true. If your child was, a mutant and you had to deal with they had a power that was, although we are getting way ahead of revealing this particular connection to this mutant, as that's revealed at the end of the episode. But I think it's pretty apparent to anybody.
No, way before.
No, it's not revealed till the end of the episode. You piece it together yourself if you're paying attention, but she doesn't actually say it until the end of the episode. So they're working on this mutant, helping with this bombarding with this light that's supposed to be helping this person control their abilities. They kind of look like a big golem character. They sort of remind me of Clayface from the Batman animated series. Similar design, but it's kind of energy being. It's putting it through pain, but as we see the beam stops and then it reverts to a normal teenager looking form, which makes Moira very happy that it's working. As that happens, basically,
happy there.
Yes, that's later on. That's when she tells the truth. But anyway, we see her. We see her.
His great costume. I love the Banshee costume.
It's pretty great. It's super Irish.
Yeah, I just love those the wings.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
That's good.
Just such a strange power that you just got to scream to do everything you do. And like God has to exist in the Marvel universe. If they're like there's a character born in Ireland and we're going to give him the powers of screaming, which is similar to a ghost story called a Banshee from that particular area. He just happens to manifest those abilities because of his geological.
God does exist in the Marvel universe, and he's called the One Above All.
And he looks like Jack Kirby.
Sometimes he also looked like a really greasy Keanu Reeves once.
Oh yeah.
When he met Spider-Man.
He's who Living Tribunal answers to. So the
what's interesting about the Living Tribunal is like the bigger he is, the more powerful he is, and and it fluctuates. Like he was once killed, in the Ultimates comic by Chaos and Order, Lord Chaos and Master Order. They killed
in the Ultimate Universe.
No, in the comic called the Ultimates. It's like Blue Marvel's team.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I know that one.
It's a great book, actually. Go read that.
So as the child, oops, sorry.
Hold on 1 second.
Oh,
so then they killed him, but then you can't really kill the Living Tribunal. So he just comes back, but he's smaller, and so he's less powerful, and things are less afraid of him. Anyway, tangent. Living Tribunal.
Cool character. Popped up briefly in the last Doctor Strange movie. Which, once again, Murphy yelled on your show about how much that he hated that movie, the last Doctor Strange movie. I love that movie, so I don't know.
I think it's quite good as well.
I do too. But anyway,
maybe a little thin in parts, but
Lightyear's better than Ant-Man Quantumania. So,
better than Ant-Man.
I'm not going to shit on that movie because I liked it all right, but it was pretty paper thin in my opinion compared to
not as good as Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. Was it you that I was talking to that was shit? No, my friend Craig liked the movie up until the big fight at the end. He shat on the big fight at the end. He didn't like this.
The big fight at the end did suck.
Yeah.
I'm not that either.
But
because every other fight we've seen involving Wakanda has been so much better. So it was just a disappointment.
It's not like on a boat in the ocean. It's just kind of strange. But anyway. All right. So then
Not a choice I would have made.
the kid's powers, the kid depowers, but then his powers flare up and he causes a big hole in the wall, which shoots back Banshee and Moira. But Moira's happy to see him back in his human form, and she goes towards him, but then it's kind of weak from being back slammed against the wall. The child's powers return, and then he sort of fights with Banshee, managing to possess him, making Banshee's eyes glow green.
My God.
Start again.
No! Let me see what's outside these walls.
Yeah, that kid's Irish accent's pretty solid, actually. But you know, she inhabits Banshee. Moira tries to reason with him to come back and go back in the cage so they can keep working on him, but he wants to see the outside world. He's tired of being stuck in this lab. And
I mean, no kid would want to be.
Please.
well, of course
Anthony,
not.
What is it?
Come quickly. I need
So I got ahead of
help.
you.
Moira.
Yeah, you did get way ahead of me.
You find
anyway.
that funny because that's that trope of the like phone call where like they give no information.
Yeah.
It's just like help me. That's
And
happened in like
basically
so many movies and TV shows.
And in the clip, he warps
Frustrating.
reality around her and then disappears. When he disappears, reality kind of changes. The room warps around her. So, like, he's not even there. It's not like she's in trouble right now and, like, needs to get this call out before, you know, something happens. She literally is just sitting there alone, calling him and going, oh, my God, I'm trying to explain. You got to get over here. Goodbye. And hangs up the phone, which is pretty funny.
It was a little bit frustrating. Funny because if it was like trying to be a joke because it's that trope, then it's genius.
I
If it's
highly
just
doubt
using that trope, it's less.
Although I find it kind of funny knowing more of this backstory with Moira and Charles' relationship, how much she seems to call on him, because she did him pretty dirty.
Oh, did she ever? I
Yeah,
got that
I must say.
when we get there.
But we'll get there.
Like you
So-
could easily side with her without knowing that information because Xavier's, Xavier. He'd be a hard guy to be around.
Well, maybe he's the way he is because of what she did to him. He seemed like a pretty happy guy
maybe.
before that. So anyway, the X-Men call into action. We see Wolverine make actually that's not until the plane. So we see the plane take off from the underneath the pool, which is fun because that's something we saw rather front and center in the first X-Men movie by Bryan Singer, which I don't think we've seen in this cartoon yet. So it's kind of a neat connection to that. We see the Blackbird come out of underneath the pool where the pool slides out of the way. So that's kind of cool.
We've seen it come out of the basket. No, in the Bryan Singer, it comes out of the basketball court.
Oh, man. I thought it was the pool. Okay, that makes sense.
No,
But
it's
still, seeing a
that.
similar scene where it all slides away and it comes out is pretty
Yeah. Like remember they explain it in that movie, and there's like, and they have this super jet, and it comes up out of the basketball court.
right.
Yeah.
So we see Wolverine make a snide comment while Rogue is reviewing the stress
Do I
call. Do you have that?
What?
Seems like something you'd
that
have.
Snide comment. Is that this one?
Charles, I will always care for you,
No.
but I've fallen in love with someone else.
That's way later.
That's her doing him dirty.
That's her doing him dirty.
Oh my, does she ever? I thought I did have the one you're talking about.
I don't even have a quote
Please,
that would explain
Anthony.
it.
What is
I
it?
ain't it either.
Come quickly.
All right, I
need
guess
your
I don't.
help.
I thought I did. What one are you talking about?
Let me rewind it here. You can't hear my screen, but he just said it. It was let me see. Oop. I have my volume on really low. Oh, something about a ghost.
Oh, the ghost. Oh yeah, I did skip that one. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, I stomp ghost. Yeah.
She's like,
So
it could be a ghost. He's like, well, then we'll stomp a ghost.
yeah. Then we'll stomp a
Yeah.
ghost. He's just so ridiculous
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But,
he's got
anyway-
so many singers in this episode. Wolverine's just real pithy tonight.
Well, this is where you played that quote. So Charles remembers back on his time with Moira. Basically, he fell in love with her when he was a soldier, before he went off to war. He
She fell in love with him, and they were like supposed to get
Yeah.
married.
He
Like, they were
proposed to her.
engaged.
He proposed to her. She said yes.
So dirty.
Then we cut
It
to him
doesn't
in
even
an
seem like a very long length of time. It seems like he went like on a little military excursion for a month. She's just like, yeah, I met somebody else, and by the time you read this, we'll be married. It's
based
like
on this
what?
timeline. I'm guessing he was in
What?
Vietnam or Korea. Like it's kind of
I think it's supposed
about
to be
his age.
Korea.
So we see him propose, her accept, them all being in love. Then we smash cut to him in an active war zone where he has like bandage on his arm and his hand, being that he got hurt somehow in the battle. He's sitting on a cot opening his mail, and it's the ring given back with a note telling him she fell in love with someone else. She's sorry. Goodbye, basically. So pretty rough. Anyway, he's in the middle of war, and like I get. Listen, I get if you fall in love
Love
with
is love,
someone, you
right?
fall in love with someone else. I get it. She did the right thing by breaking up with him.
But didn't you
That's-
just fall in love with him like a month ago, and you haven't seen him in a month?
It could have
So
been
it's
a
just
year,
like,
maybe.
maybe
Who
those
knows?
feelings are still there. Like, I don't know.
So
But
yeah, she just.
we can agree she did him a little dirty.
I would
Seems
say
a little
so.
frivolous.
To send him that letter while
Um,
he's in an active war zone, like it's probably not the best motivation to get through and get home. You
The way
know,
she words it. By the time you read this, we
I've
will be
already married this other guy.
What?
Yeah, she's like, by the time you read this,
Don't
we're
even
already
tell him
married.
that. Don't even tell him that part. Like, just say it's over and you met someone else and be done with it. Anyway.
Yeah, and then we
I
see
don't know,
Charles when
Moira.
he's
Not on Team Moira tonight.
then we cut to him. Then we cut to Charles in a wheelchair after getting put in the wheelchair in the war, sitting in rehab, reading the newspaper that has the big front page story about Moira marrying this other guy. So just rubbing
McTaggert.
rubbing it all in, which is actually is nice here because then we see the clips from before the Asteroid M episodes where we see him have a relationship with his nurse. And then them break up because of his, obligation to the X-Men and her desire to just be a normal person. So we get a little bit of a rehash of that, but it's still nice.
We get a rehash scene in time. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, where she says she wants to be normal, all that stuff from before.
Yeah, like when you said he's a little bitch.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. See, we do get that too.
I never
Well,
been a little bitch before.
That's all in this part. So then the funniest though is the scene where
now it makes sense
Oh
because
yeah.
she did him so dirty. Before we were like on Team Moira, we're like, yeah, Xavier's a bit of a little bitch, but no.
Well, he did
so
go
much.
to her island. Maybe he went to her island hoping to reconnect with her and got there and found out she's engaged to someone else. So maybe he was pissier about
It's
that.
not even Joe McTaggart. Now it's another guy, and he's like young and handsome and has superpowers, annoying ones.
Yes, but powers nonetheless. But the favorite is like we see that scene, and maybe they showed this the first time we saw this. But when what's her name? The girl with the red hair that he was with his nurse.
Jean Grey.
No. The one he was with his nurse that he was
Amelia.
with.
Amelia Vaught, right?
Amelia, that's right, Amelia. So
the
we
one
see
who
that
ends up being a
Asteroid
Magneto.
Yeah. So when we see her leave the X Mansion and Xavier be like, wait, and she just keeps going, and then he stands there and he like puts his head in his hands. He's sad, and then in the background we see the X-Men walking up behind him, which is like Jean Grey in her old costume, Cyclops in his old costume, and inexplicably Angel in his old costume, even though he wasn't on the team.
Yeah.
But as they all come up behind him, we just see Beast in his old costume, upside down, like poking his head down, like, what's going on here? It's just like, geez, the guy's just got his heart broken. Let's maybe give him some space, folks. So then, of course,
we need an explanation of this inexplicable Angel appearances. It keeps happening.
Yeah, maybe he's a different guy with angel wings that was on the team earlier.
No, he's not a different. I mean, unless he's mimic. He could be mimic, but who's he mimicking? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did that episode. Those episodes where he showed up, but
yeah, we might have to go back because it might just be that he
maybe it was just the Rogue and him didn't know each other. Yeah, but
yeah, exactly.
None of the others seem to really know him that well, so I don't know. But anywho, we do see that recut of the scene where Charles went to go convalesce there, and then saw that she was with Sean, and then we see Sean and her out on a moonlit night on the bay, discussing that maybe Charles still has feelings for her, but she doesn't see how he could.
That's the reused scene.
Yeah.
Moira's told me a great deal about you, Mr. Xavier.
How fortunate. Now, if you'll show me my quarters, Moira, I need to rest.
Worst poker face in the history of comic books.
He doesn't even try. He doesn't even try.
How?
Like, you know what? Screw you two. I'm going to my room.
So they're on a moonlit night talking about this. Charles is watching them being canoodle from his window and being even sadder. So long history of Charles being sad because of Moira. But anyway, they arrive at Muir Island.
He hasn't met his true soulmate, Magistrix Lalandra yet.
Yes, he has several times in the show.
He has in this show. I'm just saying at that point in his life.
That is true.
Yeah.
So Moira shows some footage of what Proteus, as we learn to know, is this mutant's abilities, which somehow are all the same camera angles we saw earlier. So perhaps this whole show is just Moira's camera angles, because when they do flashbacks and they show scenes from all the angles that we've seen already, it's like, wow, she's got like 6 cameras positioned all around this room in really dynamic ways to capture the action.
Mr. Calling is a camera operator.
She shows the possessed Banshee, And then shows what his abilities are, which she explains means he actually warps reality.
I have that. Yeah.
What is happening here?
That's the scene.
Proteus can actually change the physical world around him by merely thinking it. Notice that after he leaves, the room goes back to its normal state, though it does you no good if you're hurt while it's happening.
Oh, that's a great explanation.
Do you remember that Batman episode where
I didn't watch Batman.
The animated series?
No, I only watched Adam West Batman.
Are you serious? You've never watched what is possibly the greatest superhero cartoon of all time? Even more than this, I'm sorry to say.
By then, I didn't like Batman.
Wow. Well, you do yourself a favor, sir, and go back and watch it. It's a beautiful piece of work, like in all forms. It's fantastic.
Depending on how long we do this thing, maybe we'll get there.
I think we should. Honestly, I think we should because I would happily rewatch that show.
And it has a premise. It's you convincing me that Batman doesn't suck.
Batman doesn't suck. I mean, listen, you can hating it.
I love Adam West Batman. Caveat.
Listen, every comic book character has the best superpower, and that's that they're fictional. So, like, whoever's writing them
is the worst superpower, which is just extreme plot armor. It's just too much. It's too much plot armor.
Well, it just depends on
somebody
who's writing
murder
it.
Batman and just
it depends
put it
on
into
who's
it. Someone
writing
kill
him.
Batman and put an end to it. Just end it. He's been around for 100 years. That's long enough. Just end it.
Okay, well, why does Iron Man work as a character and Batman doesn't?
Iron Man doesn't really work as a character in comics. I don't enjoy Iron Man comics.
Well, then it's the same difference. It's the normal guy that uses
He's
money.
good in like an Avengers.
Yeah, well, listen, that show is fantastic, and there's an episode.
At least he wears a friggin' suit of armor. Batman's just like, oh, just run out there and fight a god.
No, he's got like a polymer armor thing that's bulletproof. Like he's got shit going on. And he's a ninja. Like, I don't know. Listen, I've always been more of a Marvel guy, but I can't deny Batman in the right writing is a fantastic character, and like it can be a fantastic comic, like any comic.
Also,
written by
too many
guy.
things. Like you bring up Iron Man's the perfect analogy. Iron Man is good at one thing. He's a futurist and he's super smart, so he can build things. Batman has every ability a human can have and not enough time to achieve that. There's just too much disbelief when it comes to Batman for me. It's just like, I have to believe this rich guy had time to become a ninja, had time to become the smartest engineer ever, had time to become literally everything.
We're reviewing a TV show where people born with mutant powers are fighting a child that can warp reality with his mind.
It's just believable compared to Batman.
No, it's not. Anyway, you should watch the show. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful show. Whether you like Batman or not, the writing and the animation of that show is fantastic. But on
I have said before I've never been a fan of that Warner Brothers style of animation. But I see how it is good. It's very smooth and crisp. And
it's gorgeous, man.
It's a little too stylized for me. It's like Dexter's
it works
Lab.
for me.
It's like superheroes do Dexter's Lab, kind of.
What? Dexter's Lab was way later.
Faces are the same, very square faces. No, but like the same sort of.
Okay, well then, okay.
It's like kind of like an old school John Romita Jr. style.
Yeah, but you're drawing superheroes. I mean, it works for that. But anyway, there's an episode in that show later on when it becomes there's Superman cartoon and there's a Justice League cartoon and there's a Justice League Unlimited cartoon. In the Justice League Unlimited cartoon, the Royal Flush Gang has a child that basically is going to die because his powers are going to burn it out, and but the child's powers are untenable and really shouldn't be allowed to exist in this world because
X-Men
if they did, it would destroy reality as we know it. I mean, listen, Proteus can be a sympathetic character, but if a character
is another
like that existed and could warp reality on a whim, I could just decide to wipe out China if I wanted to, and it's gone. Like that's too powerful. Like
he's a little more localized than that.
But still, if I walked in New York and decided to make it go underwater.
Oh yeah, if you walk to China, you could screw it up.
It's not just the perception. It's not just your perception of reality. He actually alters reality.
Yeah.
By that definition, you could make someone not be born. You could make the sun not exist. You could do anything. You could make the world not the world. You could make everything different.
Very much like the movie we were speaking of earlier. I mean, that's what Scarlet Witch does.
Yes. Well, she's capable of it.
She starts screwing up reality. Yeah, exactly. And, Legion, another one, and Matthew Malloy, a newer X-Men reference. He's even more powerful than all these people we mentioned. Matthew Malloy is like the most powerful mutant ever, and I think they killed him.
Well, you'd have to.
Yeah, you'd have to, and they did. Like that's how serious X-Men comics get.
Well, that's
It's like,
what happens in the Justice League cartoon. Like this character has to die, and Batman. It's a very good moment for Batman where you see how.
as he does it.
No, he sits with her until she dies on her own, but like he's the one that does it because he understands loss and all this stuff, and it's good. It's very touching.
Who did the killing?
She was going to die on her own, but like instead of her burning out,
Well,
taking the world with her.
Pop out.
Yeah, I know.
But that's
lame.
Would you rather
Marvel
have,
does
it way better.
Would you rather on a kid
yes.
show? Yeah, this is a kid show. You're not gonna have Wolverine like slicing, the
We're
Phoenix up like he does in the comics in this cartoon.
Cartoon next week. Stay tuned.
So
like it was a long time in the comics. The Proteus stories from a little spoiler for later, but it was from Uncanny X-Men 111 to 128, and it was a long time before Proteus ever showed up again.
No, he's a character that's hard to contend with. I mean, he can warp reality, so it's a big matzo ball. So we see them go track him. He sends the X-Men off to track him while he has a quiet moment with Moira, Professor X. But before that, Wolverine says, "Why don't they just,
What is happening here?
That's way before.
Oops, my bad.
What is happening
Oh my
here?
God, stop. It's just my freaking soundboard anyway. Sorry.
So Wolverine has a snide comment.
Yes. So we can turn things upside down. He don't look old enough to shave.
I don't see how that has anything to do with anything, Wolverine.
When they're leaving, he has a line. Do you have the other line he has with him and Rogue have when he leaves the room?
Yeah.
That's pertinent for this.
Xavier's kind of out to lunch.
They were engaged once, Mr. Sensitive. So next time the love of your life's in trouble, let me know how well you function.
Like, I can't fathom that Wolverine would not understand. Like, he spent the whole first 2 seasons pining over Jean Grey. It seems like he's gotten over it, but man, oh man, it
does seem like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Which is good.
Which is good. But maybe it's because he has eyes for Storm now after that last 2 episodes, which would be nice.
Oh, I hope so.
But
actually, I know what happens in season 5, so Storm goes elsewhere. But
that sucks. Did she get married to T'Challa?
No, somebody way worse.
It's Morph, isn't it?
Morph's awesome. No, I'd be fine with that. I mean, it wouldn't make sense as a relationship, but I'd be fine with that because I like Morph. But anyway, like, I don't know. I guess they have some stuff in common, but I think they'll ignore that in the remake series.
Yeah, we'll see.
Not remake. What do you call it? Sequel series, I guess.
So Moira, when she's alone with Charles, says that her research to help mutants started with this mutant, and she feels she owes him something. Charles asks if, this kid knows. She knows where he's going to be headed next. Charles asked if Moira talked to Joe lately, and she says that she says that no, not really. He's not part of her life anymore. He's moved on, and we see that he has like a. She has a clip already cute. This is funny. It's like nothing says I'm over my ex more than here's a VCR that I already have queued up with a tape of his commercial from television on it. That has a picture of him with his new family in the background.
Is his dedication to family values. As Secretary of State, I will bring Scotland back to the values that made it great.
Oh, he's a consummate politician. That Joe McTaggert, let me tell you.
It's so funny too. Like what rubs it in more than like as we come to learn, and we will get to eventually the connection to Proteus and this character is that he's running on family values after abandoning his previous family. He's like, there's not enough family values in Scotland. I abandoned my previous family, but they were holding me back. My new wife is way hotter.
And like maybe he was different as a young man, but I don't know what she saw in him compared to Xavier. I mean,
well, we haven't even got to what happened to them yet, but we're going to. So, actually, have we got
family values? That's what now. Tell us, Scottish ex-goons, are the family values gone from Scotland? Is Joe McTaggert right?
And we have any Scottish ex-goons.
Let us know. xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. We want to know.
So Proteus goes to a bar on Muir Island, which is inhabited by a lot of kooky characters. They don't really explain why this is, but I believe earlier on in previous episodes we came to learn that Muir Island is the haven for mutants. So there are quite a few of them hanging out in this bar. He's realizing that things are kind of strange. He's got the green eyes. He inhabits Pardon?
She's studying mutants. I don't know. Have we learned that it's a haven for mutants?
I believe we did, because that's where remember when they were at the bar with Avalanche and Pyro before, way back in the day. That was also at a bar with mutants in it too. Yeah, it was on Muir Island as well.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think that all had something to do with this. So yeah, we do get something to do with that.
There are times he acts like a child.
So
Xavier tries to be your opening too. I had like 3 to choose from.
Oh, that is true too. Xavier tries to reach out to him and connects with his mind while he's possessing this this worker who looks kind of like a stereotypical sea captain in this bar. Well, he does. Proteus sort of comes out of the captain and is speaking to Charles Xavier, telling him to get out of his mind. This is his first sort of interaction with someone with mental powers reaching out to him. So he manages to use his abilities to basically.
Yeah, we didn't mention that, but like Proteus has pretty high level.
Yeah, she does mention when explaining his powers that he is psychic, or he has psychic powers as well.
She says that's like the only way he communicates.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. So anyway, after he gets connected by Charles, he runs. Yeah, because when he's in his energy form, he doesn't have a mouth. But anyway, he runs, jumps onto a ship, a barge that's leaving Muir Island, heading to the mainland, and possesses another stereotypically looking Scottish guy wearing a kilt and a sash and the tam and everything, like just very So anyway, we see Moira attending to Banju still in a coma after being possessed by Proteus earlier. But the X-Men are researching what happened, and they discover the worker that was possessed by him before. And Wolverine has some more pertinently snappy dialogue where the guy's like, they say he was possessed by some giant evil beast, and Wolverine's like, probably talking about Hank. It's not even that funny. It's just kind of like you don't need to make a joke out of everything, Wolverine. Maybe you can let 1 or 2 pass by.
This episode he does. Wolverine doesn't let one opportunity slide.
No, he's quite pithy.
Like, oh, I got one for this. I got a couple more in clips too. He just keeps her going.
But they discover that he's headed for the mainland, and Moira is very upset because who knows how much damage he can do on the mainland. He steps out of the stereotypical Scottish guy, is looking down an alley trying to figure out what to do next. Basically hiding.
What is happening here?
Reality. And while doing that, he sees a kid that's running from some bullies. The bullies are beating up the kid. He intervenes and basically warps reality around the bullies, getting them off the kid. Then possesses the kid. The kid is approached by his father, who's
just worse than probably getting beat up by bullies. So.
Yeah, like Banji's still in a coma from when he possessed him, and they're like really funny. So anyway, the kid's father comes up.
Probably like passed out somewhere, just getting an awful draft.
I'm kind of curious that, whenever these side characters show up that are just here to be disposable, I always kind of find it funny. I'm like, what is the full story of what just happened in this situation? Like, 2 bullies chase this kid in an alley. The kid hides. The bullies double back, find him, start to fight him. So aside from Proteus, start to fight him. Then they're gone because Proteus. But aside from that, then his father runs up asking if he's okay. So why was the father involved with the bully? Like, what is the connection here? They had a bar and a fight broke out, and the son seems too young. But anyway, the kid, the Proteus possessing the kid is curious as to why this guy cares so much about this kid, and then realizes this guy's his father, and this is how fathers care about their sons, apparently, which is something he's never thought about before. And while he was doing that, he basically lets his grip on the kid slip a bit, and he comes out, and the father sees him, freaks out, and defends his son against what he thinks is a monster. Proteus lets him go and then realizes that, this guy cares so much for his son, he's willing to defend him, so he wants to find his own father. We cut to the X-Men who are
got that. Oh, whoops. Let me get the volume back up.
Where is my father?
And again, like that resonated with me as a parent as well. It's just like, this is like he doesn't know the story of his father, and like we don't even in this episode, but he mentions that he's like, really, he wants to see me after what I did to him. So we don't know what happened there, but
I'm assuming this is just a molestation situation. But...
No, it's not.
I'm kidding.
God damn it.
After I molested him, he wants to see me. My God, this kid is sick.
Jesus, what's
Yeah,
wrong with this
Jesus.
kid?
Wouldn't it be
He's
great if
worse-
there's some
no,
real?
anyway.
Wouldn't it be great if, like, you remember that X-Men comic where Ethan Van Sciver got like, it was Ethan Van Sciver got fired from it
Yes,
because
I
he had
have
the
it.
word sex in like every like all over it.
I got him to sign it for me, though. Ethan Van Sciver's like not a really reputable sort of fellow.
What did he say when you got him to sign it? Did he laugh?
Yeah, he just laughed and he'd be like, "Well, I'll find it for you." He actually signed it with the word "sex" in his signature. Like,
That's awesome, man. I actually appreciate that.
I did too, and I appreciate him that day. But since then, he's kind of gone off the rails.
I don't know much about him. Is he been Me Too? Did he do something shitty?
No, more like he's kind of gone railing hard against like him and someone else. Who was it? They started this own podcast or something. Anyway, they're very, very like I don't know what the term is. I guess what would be the term? Like anti-woke. I don't know. They've gone a bit crazy in that regard.
You know what I call those people that say things like that? The people that don't want to have to face any consequences for shitty behavior. It's like woke doesn't mean
I gather it's that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, we can't joke about anything. It's like, no, you can joke about anything you want. You just might have people not want to pay. People might not buy your comic anymore. You know, like, so you're free to say what you want. Freedom of speech means you don't go to jail for saying what you want to say. It doesn't mean you're not going to have some consequences in your personal, professional life.
It got like confused with freedom of speech.
I like work for Walt Disney and I go downtown wearing a Nazi flag or something. You know what I mean? Like I can't expect that I might be fired from Disney. You know, like it's ridiculous. Anywho, we cut to the X-Men. We're heading over to the mainland.
Anyway, thanks for signing that for me, Ethan Van Sciver. You know,
I assume he definitely is listening.
We agree to disagree on some things, I guess.
So Proteus on the mainland. The X-Men are heading over looking for him. Wolverine, for some reason, swapped out of his costume into his civvies. I'm not sure why. All the rest of them are still wearing their X-Men costume. But as they arrive at the mainland...
Or did he draw a dick on my cover? He might have just drawn a dick.
That's even better.
I also have a comic that... who did the art on Sex Criminals?
Matt Fraction.
Yes, Matt Fraction.
No, Fraction drew it.
No, he wrote it.
They drew it. But didn't he did the art too?
No, it was Chip Zdarsky.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, it is. That's very famously that comic is by those two.
I have a comic that he drew a dick on.
Oh, that's great. I gotta finish that.
See that? Like, were you aware of that? Sex? I don't think.
I love that comic. It was great.
I love it too.
It would make for a good TV show. It'd be a raunchy TV show. But...
Oh, it's coming. That's been done.
Oh, really? Sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And Essex County starts this week on CBC.
Yeah, I know. It's interesting CBC's doing it because I feel like they don't have a big platform, but it's very Canadian, so that's cool.
Stephen McHatty's in it.
Yeah, well, a lot of big names are in it. Are the guy that played the Blob is in it, Kevin Durand. I mean, not his best role. He's a cool actor. He's in a lot of stuff. In fact, I had a good conversation with him with Robert Maillet. My other podcast.
Pontypool.
I did. That's a fantastic movie.
And
a very unique movie. I actually met Stephen McHattie. It was one of the most disappointing. It was one of the most disappointing meeting celebrity events of my life.
No,
yeah, because he's from Antigonish on his IMDb, and I ran into him on the set of the show Lizzie Borden, which is the spinoff of the movie with Christina Ricci.
Friggin' sad.
He wasn't that bad, but he was standing at a table that I was at getting food or something, and I said, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you. I'm from Antigonish as well. It's really cool to meet you," because he's from Antigonish. It's what it says on his IMDb. And he goes, "Actually, I'm from Goshen," and then he walked away, which is like 5 minutes.
Goshen?
Like 5 minutes away from Antigonish. Like it's yeah, I know. It's like I'm from Bayfield.
Talk about it.
I'm from Bayfield technically, so like, but it's in Antigonish County. Like he was very dismissive.
Nova Scotia. Everything's tiny and close to each other. Like I always say I'm from Windsor, but I'm not from Windsor. I'm from the 3 Mile Plains.
But I mean, I'm a big fan. Like I still love him. He's a great actor. He's fantastic in 300 and in The Watchmen and
in Star Trek. It's a fake.
That's true. He's great in Star Trek. Yeah, he's very memorable in that role. It's a fake.
Right.
But yeah, I played a burly cop on that show, and in the movie, I think that it spun off of. So they did a movie with Christina Ricci playing Lizzie Borden. I think it was called Lizzie Borden.
Yeah, they filmed that here, right?
Yeah, and what's his face in it too? Jonathan Banks from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I know Jonathan Banks.
Yeah, he's a
lot of things.
Mike Ehrmantraut.
I didn't watch Breaking Bad, but he's in a lot of things. I know Jonathan Banks.
So we see. We'll go back to the show.
You haven't got to the hold up episode where I bashed Breaking Bad. I take it.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, That's going to make me upset. What do you have against Breaking Bad?
You'll be on Team Murphy that day. I just think it's not good, and like I don't know. I've only watched 2 episodes, and I hated those 2 episodes, so I didn't continue it.
Wow, that's a really poor amount to watch to judge an entire series.
For me, that's not, and that's the point I made.
Were they the first 2 episodes?
Yeah, but when you watch two seasons or 3 seasons, all that earlier shit makes sense. I'm like, I shouldn't have to watch 3 episodes of it.
Well, if you watch the first 2 episodes and you didn't like those,
enjoy it, you know.
Well, I mean, that shows aren't one-off shows anymore. Like, you need to watch all of it to really understand. And if you don't like the first few,
no, I don't buy that. That's bullshit.
No, you do. But if you, I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you have to. I'm saying if you watch the first 2
every
episodes,
episode should be enjoyable.
But without context, you're not going to know what's going on.
Oh, see, that's the problem I had. That's why.
But then you should watch an episodic show like Criminal Minds or Law and Order or something,
and then back out, because that's what they do now. And that's why I'm right in my.
Well, then serialized television is for you.
Because no, it's not. Well,
and you should just watch Law and Order or something, and that's it.
No. Well, I prefer Boston Legal, but no. See, here's the thing, Andre. There's good serialized television, like say the Battlestar Galactica remake, or even certain.
Tell me one non-sci-fi show that you like that's serialized. If you have to think this hard, there isn't one.
The Detectorists.
What the fuck is that?
You've never seen The Detectorists?
That sounds made up.
No, it's the best comedy.
Okay, is it a period piece?
It's like, no,
it's a comedy show. Okay,
it's a comedy show from It's a British show starring Toby Jones and
I like him.
Written by and starring he was what's his name? He was the Dwight character in the original Office.
Oh, yeah, I can't think of his name. I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of his name either. He's on the parts of the character.
Mackenzie Crook.
Yeah.
It's
that's fine.
2.
I think you have
it's charming and heartfelt and funny, and it's a sitcom, but every episode leads into the other.
I don't want to get into a big debate because that's not what this show's about, but I have a sneaking suspicion you have an inherent bias against anything that's popular.
Oh, I do. I 100% do.
So
I like I will never watch Wednesday because Jenna Ortega has infected the internet.
I heard your argument about that show. That show doesn't paint her out to be super sexy or anything. She's supposed to be older.
Oh, come on. They totally
you can't hold it against the kid because she's an attractive person. She's not
I don't hold it against her. I hold it against the casting agent and the writers of the show.
Well, she's also supposed to be closer
they
to being
didn't have
an
confidence in what the character of Wednesday Addams is. So like, you know what? If we just make her super sexy.
Do you not think Christina Ricci is attractive? When you were a kid?
She's not Jenna Ortega. No, I didn't as a kid.
Wow. Well, you and I have different tastes in women then.
She's weird.
When I was about the same age as she was on those movies when they came out, I thought she was really attractive. I had a crush on her as a kid. I wasn't,
like on Addams Family
as a goth kid. Yeah, she was like a goth kid.
She was like 8 years old.
Yeah, but so was I. Like when she was like 10. No, she was like 10 or 11 or whatever. So like, or Casper or whatever. Like it's all around the same time. So like, yeah, she was super cute as a kid at her own at the same age.
She's a very attractive lady.
But on the Wednesday show,
they play up the sexy in like the Jenna Ortega.
No, they really don't. Because you haven't watched it.
Everything that spawned out from that show, like the Wednesday dance. And
did you watch the episode
no, I haven't.
You don't have any context at all.
No, listen. Everything I've seen spin out from that show has been so shallow and shitty.
Yeah, but you don't have the context. You only have the TikTok videos.
No,
for reference.
But on a good show, the things that spin out from it into the pop culture aren't this like super shallow dumb shit. Like maybe that's a consequence of like the internet age.
Well, within the context of the show itself, it's like less than 10 seconds. And it's just to show how awkward and weird she is at a dance. And she doesn't really dance like everyone else. She has this weird backwards way of dancing. So it became popular.
I just feel like I've seen a lot of clips from the show and she doesn't seem like Wednesday Addams.
I'm not saying it's the best show in the world. I don't think it's fantastic. I watched it; it's fine. I'm not going to say,
And
I'm not going to defend it to the death.
have extreme nostalgia for the first Raul Julia Addams Family movie. Like that's one of the best.
Well, if you want to go way back, that spits in the face of the John Astin original black and white. So
I know it does.
But Raul Julia was fantastic. I love those movies too. And you know what?
That movie is fantastic.
Both of them are. Yeah, I agree.
The second one's good too. Yeah.
Fred Armisen plays Uncle Fester in the new series, which I kind of like.
It's weird.
Hey, it works.
I'm generally not big on.
And they really lean harder into the fact that Gomez Addams is Hispanic, which they never really did. I mean, I guess Raul Julia was, but
Raul Julia was. That's what kind of defined that.
John
in
Astin,
the black and white one, that was
John Astin wasn't. But in the original comic strip, he was. Like people were shitting on what's his face for playing him. He's not the strongest actor in the world.
Well, the thing is, they thought
Luis Guzman.
The thing that got. Well, no, that makes more sense.
He looks like he does in the original.
Raul Julia was maybe too handsome to play.
Oh, for sure, but he's fantastic. He's a
great.
great.
The whole thing is Morticia's supposed to be super hot.
Yeah.
And Gomez
my only defension of Wednesday is that like she's supposed to be nearing womanhood, like she's at 17. So like, and there's a real defiance against her mother and not wanting to become her mother, which is a big, who's played by, what's her face?
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yeah, that one. And so that all plays into it. Is it a perfect show? No. Is it entertaining? It's fine. I'm not going to say it's great. I would give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I am curious to watch another season, but I'm not saying it's not going to blow. Like, I'm not defending it because I love it. I just think you're a little unfair sometimes.
Well, for my beloved Addams Family, those 2 movies. I think they made a third one that wasn't.
No, it was like a straight to DVD thing that didn't have any of the same actors,
except for Lurch.
Probably Lurch because that guy only plays big roles.
Yeah. He's in a lot of Star Trek too. But
he's in.
The only thing is,
he's on Dr.
The
Sleep,
Wednesday I know from those 2 movies would never dance in the first place. Never. Like there was no friggin' way you could ever get Wednesday Addams to dance. That's crazy. That's like talk about character assassination. That's like the supreme character assassination.
You remember the second one when they go to that camp?
She's not that person. Yes, I do.
And you remember like she kind of befriends that nerdy kid who sort of likes her, and there seems to be like a thing between them.
She doesn't befriend that nerdy kid. She tolerates that nerdy.
No, it seems like there's a romantic inkling there. It's been a long time since I watched it. I may have to watch it again.
Oh, I wouldn't argue with the fact that like
because he kind of worships her, and it's almost like a very similar relationship to what Gomez and Morticia have. So they play into stuff like that. I mean, it's a different.
That's interesting.
So anyway,
but I still don't think Wednesday Addams would ever dance, nor would Morticia.
Well,
like she stands there.
The thing is,
Gomez dances around her and kisses her arm.
Well, that's kind of how they're depicted in the show.
She's too cool for this.
This isn't the Wednesday Addams podcast. All I'm saying is this show isn't a sequel to that show. In this world, this is the Wednesday.
It's a new thing.
Yeah, so like you can't paint it with that brush because it's something different. It's
like the new generation can have their Wednesday, but their Wednesday is wrong and too sexy.
It just, to me, it's strange that it's like we need sure, okay, Tim Burton is popular, his style was. I'm not sure where he is.
Remaking things is the lesson here.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's something good. Don't remake it. Remake the shitty shit.
But the thing is, like the basic way this show is they're like Harry Potter is popular. So let's do Harry Potter for goth kids, where everybody is a goth kid. You know what I mean? Like, and it's all painted.
I don't like Harry Potter either, so I guess
of course you don't.
Probably not.
Of course, you have no wonder in your heart, Davan.
I do have wonder.
No, you don't.
My wonder is like the Land Before Time.
Oh my god!
And like, hey,
who are your contemporaries?
Bad about the Land Before Time?
Okay, which one? Number 8? Do you like 8? Do you like 10?
No,
is 12 the one you like? Do you like 12? Is it number 15? Is the 15th Land Before Time your movie?
Did they really get that far?
No, there's like 12 of them, but still, like.
Oh my god, is there really? No, I only saw the first 2, and the first one is beautiful.
The first one is Bambi with dinosaurs,
so it's better.
I agree because it's dinosaur. Sharp Tooth was terrifying and great animation, but they did all go to straight DVD pretty much afterwards.
Funnier as well.
Yeah, I guess they're fine. So funny. Thumper was kind of funny.
Sad. Yeah, Thumper was alright.
All right, that was a nice.
Man, we're tangenting like crazy.
Yeah, maybe we should just turn this into a pop culture podcast where I defend some of it and you hate all of it.
What's Jameel's coming back with True Currency. That's what True Currency is going to be about.
Oh, that's kind of a fun idea. I can get behind that.
Yeah,
So we
it's his
see
old project.
Proteus. It's so weird to talk about something else for an hour, then come back to this. Not an hour, but so Proteus is going through the village, trying to figure out what to do
Felt like
next
an hour,
with
didn't
some
it?
purpose. Basically, that clip you showed earlier where he finds the room and he's trying to figure out what to do basically happens. So then we see the X-Men get a kind of an idea where he is based on the warp buildings. So Moira and Charles head off from Muir Island and head over as well.
Wow, this kid sure knows how to throw a block party.
He just, warps the block.
Yeah, pretty
Did you ever
funny.
see Attack the Block?
Oh, yeah, fantastic movie. They're making a sequel
Yeah,
finally.
that's a great movie. Boy, really? With John Boyega?
Yep. Joe Cornish
Oh,
directed
wow.
it. Who did some cool movies. Joe Cornish is a cool director, but that was like the one that I
Cornish
think
did
put him
some
on the
good
map.
Oh,
That's
Attack the Block was awesome.
Yeah, he did Ant-Man, the first one.
I tend to like British content quite a bit. I find they take the opportunity to be a little smarter. Like they talk down to their audience a lot less. The problem with American content is they talk down to the audience so much. And you know what? So does Canadian content. Oftentimes.
Yeah, they can. There's a new show on Netflix which is pretty popular called Lockwood and Co. Also about another group of, I think, like kids with investigating paranormal stuff. That's by the same guy that did Attack the Block, Joe Cornish.
Remember
That's a big
Ghost
thing
Rider?
there. Oh yeah, I do.
They investigated paranormal shit.
That's true. Well, they literally had one on their side. He was in a book.
He sure did. He spelled shit in the air all the time.
Nothing ever screamed more than the concept for that show. That it's like we have a title and nothing else. Let's work from that and build our way outwards.
Oh, you're right about that.
We have a ghost writer. That's funny.
And
Let's make the writer
good.
a ghost.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joe Cornish did a bunch of stuff. Attack the Block and Attack the Block 2 is what he's working on now. He did the Ant-Man screenplay for the first one that Peyton Reed directed. He did the Adventure of Tintin Steven Spielberg movie. He did that one. Quantum of Solace.
Oh, I never saw the movie.
It was all right, actually.
Remember the Tintin cartoon? Did you get into
of course.
that? I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
get
when I was a
into
kid.
it. Oh really? I couldn't.
The
get
Kid Who
into
Would
it.
Be King. He wrote that, which is on Netflix as well. So yeah, he's been going. But anyway, so Proteus, where are we at here? Charles tries to reach out to him again, but then he like actually warps reality and goes right in Charles's face and knocks him back out of his way as they descend into the town. So we see all the people in the town. As the town got back to normal, basically, we see everyone wondering why all the buildings have got back and what happened. But then a guy in his car is possessed by Proteus, who is trying to figure out what's happening. Next. Pardon?
It keeps happening.
Oh yeah,
taking over.
He sees he's more with Charles and is curious because Charles touched his mind a couple times who Charles is and what his deal is. So under the guise of a regular passerby,
I love the first time Charles touches his mind because all he hears is like the music in the bar. Like Proteus is in that bar and he just hears like
yeah, standard Scottish
music.
Him. But it's kind of neat because as he goes to touch Charles, Rogue goes to stop him, and then she gets his powers. He can't control them. And there's a cool little sequence here. One of the street lights starts shooting.
If I may ask, how do you propose that we persuade Proteus to return with us?
I like that question. Like, we're gonna go confront this reality warping
monster.
What's your plan here? And she's just like, yeah, I don't really have one. And he's just like, okay.
I love when you see Beast in public in this show because he's wearing what I call the Raphael in disguise from Ninja Turtles 1 outfit, which is just a trench coat. Or the Ben Grimm Grimm in disguise outfit, which
or
is
the Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
Do you think they took the Raphael look from the Ben Grimm?
Makes sense.
I feel like they must have. They must have. Like whenever you have a very non-human looking character, you just throw them in that brown hat and brown trench coat, and away you go, right? Like Ben Grimm started that for sure. Unless there's some pulp comic that did that.
I feel like at some point in this episode we revealed Moira's backstory, and I'm not quite sure where. Because I was skimming through the episode when we were talking, and I can't see where I missed it. But I know they do show in this episode.
No, they don't give you Moira's backstory.
Well, they do. They show what happened after her and Charles broke up. They say she got with this other guy.
she's a very classic Hollywood female character. They give you her story in regards to the men in her life. So
Yeah, but like
you
you
get
actually
her-
do see it from her point of view what happened. And it happened so fast that even
What?
just get yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, they show her in court, divorce court, and then the guy him walking away, her with the kid.
Oh, the
It was her
McTaggert
relationship
thing.
with
Okay.
Joe. They show what happened, but they don't connect that
Yeah.
that's the same kid. But we see that she broke up with Charles, she married Joe. Then it cuts to them divorcing. They're in divorce court. But when they're in divorce court, we see there's a baby basket there. And then Joe walks away. So that's
This is a baby basket.
she brought her
baby
baby
has
to
to be in a
divorce court. Nobody
basket.
else could look after this baby while they went to divorce court.
Of course.
So this is where you pretty much realize that Kevin must be her son, but it's not explicitly said until the end of this episode.
Okay, so maybe it's just because I knew that anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, based on what they showed you in the episode. So Wolverine changes out of his costume and then back into his costume. When they go to Scotland, he changed out of his
When
costume.
did he change out of his uniform?
When they go into Scotland, when Rogue gets possesses Proteus's powers, he's in a
Is he
civilian
not
gear.
in his Wolverine costume?
No,
at
and then he
that
puts it back on again when they go to confront
Oh,
him
I
again.
didn't even notice.
It's a weird
that.
little
That's
gap.
Crazy. That's kind of crazy.
So basically, they figure out.
Wolverine says this is the little zinger, though.
Soccer match get out of hand.
A monster did this.
Yeah, it sounds like Wolverine's pithy dialogue.
No, but you know what? That's pretty hilarious because soccer matches get crazy.
So Moira borrows the phone on the Blackbird.
Kill each other over that shit. And Wolverine's just like, so, all our mutant battles and shit. How about this soccer match? Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's kind of pretty funny.
What
But anyway,
is happening here?
Oh my god, stop.
When
I don't
Rogue
know
gets
what I'm
possessed
gonna
by
do.
Proteus'
Sound
powers,
shit.
she starts warping reality, and then Proteus escapes. Based on what happened, they get the vibe that he's looking for someone. And they
Hold on, there's a great line regarding that Rogue thing.
Gotta be careful picking dancing partners, darling. The young ones will wear you out.
It's probably my favorite line of the episode.
It's a pretty great line.
Wolverine's so old. Like he's done everything. He's a, I love when he like shows his oldness.
careful,
look, honey. Yeah, exactly. Like he usually saves that shit for like Jubilee and stuff, but I love when he like expresses that knowledge on the rest of the X-Men.
So basically, the X-Men are going in to find him. Moira is based on his path, they can see where he's headed. Based on that, Moira can figure out that he's heading to Joe. So she goes to borrow the phone to make a secret call to him and warn him that he's coming. But Joe, she just wants him to talk to him, but Joe doesn't want to do that until after the election.
Hold on now. Hold on. My bad. 1 sec. All the precautions I make because of my broken soundboard. Here we go.
You know the election's this week. I can't have this kind of thing coming out now. I worked 16 years to get this chance. What do you expect me to do?
You could talk to the boy. That's all he wants.
So what do you think of Joe McTaggert's Scottish accent, Andre?
It's better.
So on the scale of Kevin McTaggert, Joe McTaggert, and Moira McTaggert, who's got the best Scottish accent?
Moira's like a 2.
Out of 10?
Kevin's like an 8.
Oh, come on now. She's better than a 2.
It's pretty high. It's like a shrillish, like, oh, the Tortalura. It's like a leprechaun. It's like a full-grown leprechaun woman
The leprechaun.
stereotype.
So what do you give Kevin?
Like an 8. Kevin's like an 8. He's good.
Oh, you like his? Okay.
Yeah.
What about Joe?
Kevin's doesn't really sound like a Scottish accent. It's kind of.
Well, why did you give it an 8 then?
No, not Kevin. Sorry, Joe. Joe doesn't really sound like a Scottish accent.
What's he get then? Better than Moira?
Yeah, like a 4. Actually, no. Moira's actually does sound like an Irish accent, just like a highly.
Even something that doesn't. You keep saying Irish. They're Scottish.
Sorry, Scottish accent. So Joe would be like a 2. Moira would be like a 4. Kevin would be like an 8.
Okay.
All right.
I was gonna say Moira's definitely better than Joe. All right.
Yes, for sure. It's just very amped up. So basically, they head off Proteus and fight him in the woods. Proteus doesn't understand when Moira doesn't want.
It's always in the woods.
Yeah, it's always in the woods. So he uses reality powers to mess around with everybody, especially Wolverine. When Wolverine tries to get up in his business, making him fall apart.
Straight out of the comics.
It's actually pretty disturbing to see Wolverine cry afterwards, which is something you don't normally see Wolverine do in the show ever.
He rips him apart and turns him into a puddle.
Yeah, and then brings him back to life.
Away,
he also makes a bunch of little storms or little rogues fight Rogue. It makes a giant monkey that fights Bishop. It's a lot of weird.
Proteus is a legit terrifying villain because he's like, not only is he a reality warper, he's like a deranged child, which of course is a trope we've seen in many things.
That's right. Meaning you can't like it because it happened 1,700 years ago.
No, you're talking about Murphy. You're talking about Murphy, not me.
No, I'm talking about you.
No, me.
Murphy has an astounding unknowledge of a lot of what are considered hugely classical movies for a guy that seems to love movies.
No, I know. I'm like, have you heard of It's a Wonderful Life? He's like, no. I'm like,
when he was talking, when you're talking about Dr. Strangelove, and he's like, oh hey, it's James Earl Jones, someone in this movie I recognize. It's like, you like movies, you don't know who Peter Sellers is or who Patton, not Patton. The guy played Patton. George C. Scott is like, my God.
George C. Scott is so good in that.
The
movie.
Changeling, Patton, like so many huge. The Exorcist 3, so many huge movies that guy was in. Plus Slim Pickens, the guy like the stereo.
Oh, Slim Pickens, yeah, man, yeah.
Dude, so many big names in that movie.
Strangelove is so good. Strangelove is so good.
Dave was too harsh on the Strangelove character.
I just don't understand where he was coming from.
Oh man, that end when he's like, I can walk, and it ends on that. It's so ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I haven't actually finished that episode yet. I'm only on the part where
the alien hand thing is so funny.
Yeah. Although you guys glossed over a big part of that, which is when he says they explain the doomsday. When the funniest scene to me is when Strangelove explains when the Russian ambassador explains that they had a doomsday device in place that'll go off if a nuke is activated on Russian soil. And then he explains all the things that would start nuclear war if this happened. And then Dr. Strangelove explains the purpose of a doomsday device is to stop others from attacking your country. How can you use it effectively if nobody knows you have it? And then there's like a pause. The guy goes, we were going to announce it on Monday. Like that's how bad the luck was.
You're right. We did gloss over
that part was so good. So anyway, Wolverine gets ripped.
He's just like, you can grow plants in a greenhouse. You can hide in your deepest mines. You can raise animals that can be raised and slaughtered.
But even the idea, even how excited the men will get with the prospect that there'd be like 10 women for every man because they need that many to procreate, to repopulate the human race. And that's what they're focusing on. To me, the artifice of that movie is really the end where you see like even the Russian ambassadors secretly taking photos of the war room for no reason. Like there's going to be nothing left after the nuclear war. Like what purpose? But everyone's just so wrapped up with their own stupid connections to their own stupid countries that it doesn't matter.
It's a perfect movie.
It is.
It's a perfect movie.
You might be right. It might be one of the best. It might be the best Kubrick movie. Although there are a lot of.
Is the best Kubrick movie? Well, Murphy and
Full Metal Jacket. They fought for
Full Metal Jacket. Yeah.
I don't know. Clockwork Orange should be up there. I think that might be above it.
No, Clockwork Orange does not hold up, man. I've seen it so many times, and every time you watch it, it gets worse.
That's the point. You're not supposed to like the main character or anybody else in that movie.
No, but it's just not an enjoyable experience, really. It's not funny. It's not entertaining.
It depends what you want out of your movie experience. Does it sit with you? Do you think about it? To me, that's a worthwhile experience.
It does do that. No, so it is a worthwhile experience, but it's like that's why we do on Hold Up. We do like does it?
Yeah, I get it. I've listened to
rewatchability. Rewatchability and Hold Up is an entirely different question.
There are certain movies though that I think are genius films that
but you never want to watch again.
Exactly. Irreversible.
That's why we. Oh my God! Shut up, Beast.
Irreversible by Gaspar Noé would be one. Funny Games by Michael Haneke would be one. They really make you think, and they'll sit with you for decades. But like, they're hard to watch again. Antichrist by Lars von Trier. Like, there's a lot of very good things out there. But whether rewatch, I don't know if rewatching them is a comment on their merit or not.
Well,
Anyway, I should be on your other podcast.
no, not necessarily a merit, but that's why we asked the question.
I
Because
get
that is a good thing.
But there are times where Murphy would say it holds up.
Like,
it's not, you wouldn't watch it again.
like, I would ask you this: your favorite movies have rewatchability. Like your favorite movies you want to watch again.
Well, I have one movie. I have a favorite movie that I like that I include because it's personal to me, nostalgia, all that sort of stuff. And then I have a movie that I think artistically is the best movie I've ever seen.
Man for me.
Yes, you do love that movie. I've never seen
that episode.
I did. I'd never seen it. But my wife loves that movie, so I probably will watch it someday soon.
I love it.
For me,
it informed my life going forward.
My favorite nostalgia-driven movie is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. My favorite.
That's nostalgia and a great movie.
It is. That's why, and I can explain on a lot of points why that movie's fantastic. My favorite movie that I would say artistic merit is probably the best movie I've ever seen is No Country for Old Men.
My pick for that is probably Shawshank Redemption.
That's fair.
Shawshank Redemption, I've probably seen.
That's a lot of people's favorite movie. That's like a very popular choice
because it's undeniable.
Yeah, it's very good. Frank Darabont, who did The Majestic, is a very good director.
Okay.
I've never seen The Majestic, so I can't.
You've never seen
No, I will watch it, actually. I'm interested now. If your episode actually makes me want to watch the movies you guys hate more.
That's actually my hope for this podcast, that whether we like it or not, it makes you want to watch those.
Well, I've seen most of them, although I've never seen Soylent Green, so I will watch that.
Oh, buddy.
Basically, Proteus. We'll finish this episode.
Like
Proteus,
really, but
Proteus fucks up the X-Men and then escapes and goes looking for his father. That's the end of the episode.
Yeah. Okay. Well, did you just skip to the end?
That was the end.
I'm gonna throw up. Oh, hold on.
We were at the end pretty much. I just wanted to make sure before we went further off the.
I know this is like our most tangential episode.
But you know what? It's your birthday. So whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about.
Let him go. Don't make me bust you up.
Don't make me bust you up.
There's some good Wolverine stuff here.
This episode, he's just like, look, I'm going to kick the shit out of every 17-year-old kid. I don't give a shit.
I have a few points about that, or one point at least will come up my next point.
Okay, but you have a point about that. That actually intrigues me. But here's the end.
He's down there somewhere. They can't stop me. I'm going to find my father.
Yeah, he actually sounds like an Irish teenager.
Thing, man. He just wants parental, acceptance and love.
Well, we know his dad's an asshole, so he's not going to get that.
But Moira loves him, and normally he would know that. But she
also
causes
locked
him
in a room
nothing but
since he was a
physical
baby.
pain.
Yeah.
Exactly. So oh man, this episode is very emotional for me.
Did you feel this way as a child,
perspective? No, but from as a parent. From the child's perspective and the parent's perspective, there's a lot of weight to this episode.
So I'm not a parent, but I'm going to ask you a
question. You're a cat dad.
Yes, I am, but that's different. It's not a human life.
It is different. I didn't think it was different until it's different. But
yeah, can you? I'm going to ask you a difficult question because I'm curious.
I love these kind of questions.
Okay, good. So, if your child could accidentally destroy the world, and literally the only moral thing to do would be to kill that child.
No, I wouldn't.
You would let your child destroy the world instead of doing that.
I would try to counsel them to not destroy the world, but yes.
No, that's the answer I expected. I feel like that's probably what most parents would say.
That's how strong the connection is.
Yeah.
You want to believe in your child to the absolute end.
You're a good dad, Davan. I hope your child doesn't develop reality-destroying powers, but you're a good dad.
I love my baby. And
as
I have
you
another
should.
baby on the way.
I know you do.
Love her too.
And I'm assuming Andrea is the name you settled on for the next girl?
Ursula.
Oh, that's a great name. That's actually a really good name.
My favorite Disney villain.
Oh, of course. I assumed it was because of the character from My Little Mermaid or The Little Mermaid.
It's not entirely that, but my name is very
Are you just a Friends fan and you like Phoebe's sister?
Shit, and Ursula is no, it's more like it's a Nordic name.
No, it's a very cool name. It's not a common name, which I like.
It's super common. No,
You know what I think? If you ever have a boy someday, I don't know if you're planning on having more children beyond the two.
no, that's it.
No.
That's it. It's the 2 girls. That's it.
Are you going for the surgery? That's a personal question, but I'm curious.
Not me.
Oh, you're gonna put your wife through that? You should do it. It's way easier on a guy.
She volunteered before I said anything.
Really? Wow. Mm-hmm. It's way easier for the dude to do it.
I know. I would have volunteered because
I considered it, although it's never at this point.
Look, that makes me a little bit sad because you'd be a good dad.
My wife just turned 40. I don't think the days of that happening are going to happen.
What did I just turn today? Yesterday.
Yes, but your wife's younger than you, right?
No, she's older than me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, but your kid, you also have, that's fair. But I don't know. I don't think it's happening. I think I'd be a good dad too, but I don't know if
20 is the new, what do they say? 60 is the new 40.
The only way, no, I'm pretty happy with my life. I don't think, obviously if I had a kid, I would love a kid. I have a little brother.
I just think you'd be an awesome dad.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I'd like to think I would be, but I don't know.
You would be. You would be. And honestly, you'd enjoy the things that I enjoy at.
Yeah, probably.
I don't want to pressure you. And there's enough people in the goddamn world.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm at. I'm like, there's enough humans.
Oh, MZ's talking. Happy birthday, Davan. Oh, thanks, MZ. MZ. We're Canadian here.
Oh, see, Andre Cassidy is a good one. I'll definitely use that next time he shows up.
Fascin Andre.
Yeah.
Is Fascin Andre supposed to be a Cassidy thing?
No.
I was going to say, that sucks.
No, it's not. It's not at all. He asked if I'd ever use Andre Cassidy, but I haven't, which is great. I'm definitely. Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
That's fantastic.
Well, you're not going to get a chance again. We're never going to see Banshee again.
You don't think so?
That was your last chance. No.
Well,
we're almost done here.
There's next episode.
And season 5 gets so weird, they're not going to show a character like
There's
Banshee.
a sequel to this episode. Banshee could show up in.
Yeah, I love the end of this comment, though. Hard to believe we empathize with Xavier, because I agree, Xavier is so screwed up. But Moira really did do him dirty, and she
so dirty.
Did.
So dirty.
Her message was so rude. There's like a million ways you could make that message so much nicer.
Just a very, very curt letter.
By the time you read this, it's like
Charles,
a James Bond message. By the time you read this message will explode.
By the time you read this, Charles, Joel McTaggert is balls deep within me. We're boning on your bed, Charles. Your childhood
literally the only way she could have made it worse. He's balls deep and we will be married.
We will be married. His penis is much larger than yours, Charles. That is
traumatizing to me at 8 years old. Poor Logan.
Logan when he got all messed
up.
Yeah,
you know what? I agree.
It was pretty traumatizing.
What this reminds me of is in Fatal Attractions where Magneto pulls the adamantium out of Wolverine, because it even has similar imagery.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that really stuck with me. They put Wolverine through the ringer. Like, you have to with a character who can heal from everything. But man, after a while, you're like, man, just cut Wolverine a break. I think he's been through enough.
Yeah, been through quite a bit.
Oh man,
but it's been a while since we had a Wolverine-centric episode, like about his past or anything about that.
Oh, we're coming up to Weapon X Lies and Videotape,
and before that's Lotus and Steel, which is also another two-parter.
Oh, right.
Not two-parter, but another Wolverine-specific one.
Is it not a two-parter?
No, Lotus and Steel, and then Weapon X Lies and Videotape are the episodes. Okay. We do get Bloodlines coming up, Family Ties, a few others that are separate from
Bloodlines, written by a friend of the show, Len Yulee, who we will interview after that episode.
Oh, we're gonna have him on again.
Len Yulee, we've never had Len Yulee on.
Oh,
what are you looking at?
The book. No, we haven't had Len Yulee on. Sorry, I was thinking of
Nick Swalwell.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, Yulee's wrote the
Look, we feature writers of the show on this.
We sure do. And we're very happy to have them on. It's always great,
they are.
And great conversations too.
Oh yeah, man! Prickwalk's Tower.
Yeah, actually,
cool to see take us to the Magic Castle if we ever end up in California.
We gotta. I gotta go to
I know.
California.
We need to go together and just like call him up and be like, look, Len, not Len, Brooks, we're both in California.
We'll bring
How
his
about
book.
this
We'll
Magic
bring his books
Castle
with us
offer?
to show how much of fans we are.
I got it right here.
Mine's right here. That's what I was looking at when I was trying to figure out the name because I blanked on it for a second.
Where did it go? I had 2 copies here a second ago.
Oh, you never gave away that second copy yet?
No, because the winner didn't want it.
Well, you can do another contest and give it away.
We need to. What kind of contest? Another caption one?
No, maybe the fans just tell us who they like better of the two of us and why. And then
oh, that's a great idea.
If I
know
win,
I'm going to win that, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to win.
I think I'm charming in my own way. I think people might like me.
Look, I would vote for you.
I'd vote for you, buddy.
But I don't know that.
No, the caption contest was fun. We could do that. Or maybe
I like your idea.
Nah. We don't need to pit our fans against us.
That's true.
But maybe like best theory about what's going to happen, and then the first season of the new season.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So,
well, we're going to talk about that at the end of the show. This is probably going to be our longest episode ever. Did we finish this episode yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're on our X points now.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
That's scary.
I do like the design of Proteus in this.
Legit scary villain.
Yeah, I mean, his features are kind of he's sort of bland looking, but he's just so hulking and kind of otherworldly looking. I like it.
Wolverine is such an idiot. Like, there he just turned into a puddle. He's like, look, this little 17-year-old kid, he's just full of testosterone. Oh, slice him up like nobody's business. And it's just like, Wolverine, do you hear yourself talk right now? This is like, this dude can think you out of existence.
Yeah, I know. And you're just going to walk up to him and be like,
yeah, you're just going to walk up to him. Look, I'm scary. I'm Wolverine. It's like, yeah. Sometimes Wolverine is a bit too big for his britches. That's why we love him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty endearing character.
Davan, he is cool, funny, charismatic, passionate, and caring. Makes the podcast better. Sorry.
Well, that implies I'm not any of those things. Thanks.
No, I would argue Andre is most of those things. You know what? All of those things. But there's levels to this game.
You're right. You're right, Sam. Davan is a very great guy.
Look, he's only saying this shit because it's my birthday.
No, I'd say that any day.
Did I play the end? Oh, I did, but I'm going to play it again because then we'll move on to exploits. Oh my god. All right, look. I don't know how I'm going to solve this soundboard issue. Cousin Dave uses the same soundboard and he has no issues whatsoever.
He's down there somewhere. They can't stop me. I'm going to find my father.
Again, he just wants acknowledgement from his parents.
Well, I think this is a classic trope in most films or TV or fiction in general, is that
give us a couple examples of this trope.
Of the kid romanticizing the father he never knew and then realizing that he's not a good person.
Exactly.
Oh man, what was the it was a very big one. It was a movie. Oh, it was on Karate Kid last season, Cobra Kai. They did the same thing. The kid goes all the way to Mexico.
I can't tell you how much I love Cobra Kai.
The kid goes all the way to Mexico to see his father, and then the father he never knew, and turns out he's like an asshole drug dealer. So yeah, they just did it in Cobra Kai. That's the most recent example I can think of.
Miguel's father is like shit.
But there's a lot of movies where the kid never knows the father, the mom keeps him distant, and then the son goes off to find him and then finds out he's an asshole.
That's a real life situation.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, too often. No.
Well, women usually run away from those situations because the guy's bad news. Either he's abusive or self-destructive, and then they're in his way.
Shit parent.
Yeah, that too. All right, what are we rating this episode?
Andre is old school cool.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. I agree. Andre is old school cool. I love this guy. He's great.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, look, it's true. All right. let's get into our regular segments because this is gonna be our longest episode ever, except for maybe what it takes, which is
No, not
when
at
I
all.
talked
This
about
is
how much I love Storm for like an hour.
That's true. It's only been an hour and a half, which is I think it's kind of long for us.
Wait, what do we do first? Ratings or points?
Points. No, ratings.
Oh,
How many whiskeys deep are you there, buddy?
2.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
You know what? I want you to go first on this one.
You know, my standby, if I don't really love an episode, like 100% love an episode,
You don't love this?
I do love this episode, but you know, if it's not like everything was
And
fantastic,
8 is your default? That's pretty good. That's
yeah,
pretty
8's my general default. I think this is better than that.
7 was my.
I don't think it's a 10, but I'm going to say it's a 9.
I agree. It's a 9 because, okay, let me say, if we didn't know there was a sequel coming to this series, this episode would make me very sad because my God, is this show firing on all cylinders right now? Like, I dare say, maybe season 4 is the best. Like, we've been just hitting friggin' hits. Like, it's a lot of 2-parters and multi-part stories and stuff like that, which, you know, is always better in this series. But my God, like, if this season ended firing on all cylinders like this, and then we move into season 5 where there's a bit of a downgrade,
I would understand it's a pretty steep decline.
Well, I feel like season 5 of this podcast is going to be fascinating, but because honestly, I've never seen season 5.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting for us when we go through it.
It really will be. But man, this season has been really good, and I'm glad I kind of hope they pick up from the spirit of season 4, and we will see. We will see.
Very nice. We're
but I give it a 9 as well. I feel like this is really firing on all cylinders. Well, let's move on to everyone's favorite segment. I change that around every episode, but that's fine. Why don't you go first, Andre?
Well,
Uncanny X points.
In the very beginning, when we do a little pan through Moira's lab, did you recognize someone that was on the table?
No, I don't
experimented on
that here.
What? It was Morph.
I don't even know. What?
Morph was on one of the tables. He's still getting helped out by Moira over at the Muir Island. He had a little helmet on. He was lying on a table in his Morph costume.
Okay, I missed that.
Yeah. First thing you see in the episode is Morph laying on the table.
Man, they keep throwing Morph into all these random situations, like in the AOA Morph. Wow. Okay, good one. That's a good one. All right, my first point. Okay, I find it interesting that they were giving Kevin McTaggert, Proteus, sonic therapy. Like,
do they say sonic
she
therapy?
makes it very she makes it very clear that it's sonic therapy they are giving him. Whoa, do we have the same glasses?
No.
Yours are taller than mine.
These ones are actually a friend gave me for my birthday. I don't know if you noticed at the start of the episode, but they have a plastic thing that goes in it, that water goes in and goes around it, so it makes a well of ice. The ice is melted.
Plastic in your glass?
No, it's ice.
Come on now.
No, what is happening here?
It's not plastic, it's rubber. So it's a rubber insert that makes that
like
you put the water
rubber
in.
Or silicone?
I don't know. Silicone, I guess. So what it does is, I don't have it here, but when you freeze it, you put this rubber insert in that makes like a wedge in the center, and you put water in, and there's holes in the side. And the water fills up each thing, and then you freeze it. When you take it out of the freezer, you take the wedge out, and then it makes a well of ice that you pour the whiskey in, so it keeps it colder longer. It's melted since. I have another one in the freezer, but it's
you know,
cool.
They also sell these things that just give you spherical or cube ice cubes.
Those are good too. All right. So what was your point about the sonic therapy?
I just find that interesting. Like Banshee's standing there, and they're giving him sonic therapy.
Yeah, it's like
more equipped to give sonic therapy than Banshee.
Well, I'm sure the.
So does she just like? Eventually, she was just like, you know what, Sean, scream at this kid. I'm sick of it. I'm done.
Shatters eardrum, Sean. Let's get this going.
Yeah, let's see what shit does. Come on now. I feel like Moira's given up on Kevin, but
I know she seems pretty connected. All right. Well, my next point was due to this experience with Proteus, Wolverine begins to have greater difficulty controlling his rage after getting ripped apart. This culminates with Wolverine taking a sabbatical from the X-Men in the episode Lotus and Steel, which is coming up. So this all leads towards an upcoming episode. Wolverine starts having trouble controlling his rage. I guess getting ripped apart at a molecular level will do that to you.
Fair enough. All right, moving on to my next one. Proteus. So you may wonder what the name Proteus comes from. Proteus in Greek mythology is the prophetic old man of the sea and the shepherd of the sea's flock, seals. And he was the subject to the sea god Poseidon, and his dwelling place was either the island of Pharos, near the mouth of the Nile River, or the island of Carpathus, between Crete and Rhodes. And in Greek mythology, well, of course we know who flew across the sun, but basically, Proteus was thought to be an Egyptian pharaoh.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Indeed. Yep. So it's like, okay, here's the weird thing. Why would Moira start calling her son Proteus? Or did he read somebody's mind and start calling himself Proteus?
Also possible, yeah. I don't know.
Honestly, if you're Moira and you start calling your son Proteus, get help, man.
My third point will be I like the little backstory, getting the whole backstory of Moira. Finally, after 4 seasons, getting the full backstory of Moira and Charles's relationship. Never really. I know we said he done him dirty, but at least we know the full story now. And also seeing the connection to Charles and Amelia again, seeing her pop up in the flat. It's nice. Makes a nice cohesive.
Was Amelia in this episode?
Yeah, in the flashbacks where you saw him.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a nice little, connective tissue to the whole series there, which I liked.
Kevin needs to make a spreadsheet. Look, I have a spreadsheet in every other podcast. I have like 25 podcasts.
Let him enjoy it. Let him enjoy his this one.
It's my birthday, Sam.
That's right, Sam. It's his birthday.
MZ says this gets MZ. Look, we're Canadian here. I feel like MZ is maybe American. MZ, where are you from, bud?
Why are you saying that? Just because there's a Z in his name? It's not even pronounced Z or Z, depending on how he writes it. You don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know. Like, if he's American, I'll say MZ. But if he's not, I'm going to say MZ.
I get that Z is the Canadian way to say it. But if you look at how...
It's the right way. It's the right way, Andre.
Okay, but if you when you say XYZ, it matches the song better. A, B, C, D.
That song was an Americanization of the alphabet.
Fair enough.
Anyway, would you guys ever consider a podcast on Cobra Kai?
I feel like our bread and butter here is nostalgia, and Cobra Kai is still really new. I do like the show, but I wouldn't say it's.
I love Cobra Kai.
I wouldn't say it's
objective. It's the best show in years.
Which is funny because it's just rehashing old stuff, which you seem to hate.
I know. It's leading hard into nostalgia. It's leading hard into 80s and early 90s themes, and that's why I love it.
I feel like that show, I know they're on the last season, next one, but that show will be doing a great disservice if they don't have, oh man, I'm blanking on her name, the next Karate Kid on there.
Oh, come on now.
She's got to be on it. Come on, she has to be.
It's like so removed from the Karate
But
Kid.
it's still great. It was a great movie. It was fine.
The Next Karate Kid?
Yes,
Wasn't that what it was called? The Next Karate Kid?
I can't think of her name right now. From $1 Million Baby.
But Pat Morita was still in it, right?
Yes, but they swapped out Daniel for
Pat Morita and
I'm blanking on her name too. Name is Hilary Swank.
Swank. Yes.
Yeah, they gotta throw her in the show. I don't know if they.
I like that. I like that movie, but I think she's too removed from that story.
No, I think they got to bring.
Because unless you can bring back Pat Morita,
if I may ask,
oh my
how do you
God,
propose that we persuade Proteus to return with us?
It's almost endearing now. You know, it's funny. I watched a play last night. The theater group I'm in, they're having a play come running this week. I'm not in it. I just helped build the set. So last night was their tech rehearsal. So I went to watch it.
Sets?
Yeah. So last night was the tech rehearsal, and I went to watch it. It's the only night this week I had to watch it. And it's called the one act play that goes wrong. So it's just about a really terrible theater group putting on a play, and sets fall down.
The song never ends.
Yeah, basically. So the set falls down, and like the lines get mixed up, and like the whole point of it is that it's a terrible theater group, and a lot of the joy is just watching things go wrong. And it's endearing. It's funny. I think it's you. MZ or MZ. If you like the actor who plays Terry Silver, whose name escapes me at the moment, but it'll come to me.
He was great in Cobra Kai.
He was. You should absolutely watch the John Carpenter film, John Carpenter's Vampires, because he's the main villain in it.
Is he?
Yeah, and I love John Carpenter movies, so
I love John Carpenter.
He'll come to me in a minute.
As a composer as well.
Oh, agreed. His music's amazing. Who's he played by? He's played by Thomas Griffith. So yeah, check that out. Good movie. Weird movie. James Woods is the main character, and I know he's problematic nowadays. But aside, it's like a Western.
What happened to James Woods? I'm not aware of this.
Oh, dude. Google him and look it up.
Oh, no. I love James Woods.
Oh, no. Really? He's super right wing, like super, super right wing.
Of course he is. He's Southern.
Yeah, well, it's pretty. He's had some problematic tweets and comments.
God damn it.
Sorry.
I gotta hate the internet age. I love the age where you could just love people and like not have repercussions of that love.
That's right.
Like,
well, you didn't know so much about them. At least they're not hurting people anymore. If they were one of those types of people, but it's like it does suck when you like your heroes are revealed to be monsters. But that's why they tell you never to really idolize anybody, because they're just humans, and humans are inherently monsters.
No, I idolize no one but like maybe Stan Lee, because I met him and almost killed him, and he'd forgive me for that.
That is nice.
Yeah.
So what's your fourth point?
Fourth, I feel like I'm on number two.
You're on your third. Sorry, you're on your third. I just said the Amanda Vaught one. You're on your third.
Okay. So remember X2?
Yes, I love that movie. The best X-Men movie ever.
It is the best X, and that's a friggin' sad thing to say.
No, it's not. Yes, it's a fantastic movie.
X-Men. But it's like a bottom tier X-Men movie. Like you can make so many better X-Men movies.
Maybe now, but for the time period, it was fantastic.
It's the best X-Men movie. I agree. Proteus is in that.
Yeah, he's Stryker's son, right?
He's Stryker's son. That's where they changed it. He's not Joe McTaggert's son. He's not Moira Do we even get Moira? We do.
You do,
Moira,
yeah. She's in the First Class.
No, yeah, she's in the First Class.
She's Rose. Why always blanking her last name? Rose
something like that.
Not McIver.
Rose McFadden. McFadden, right?
I don't think so. She's married to Bobby Cannavale. What kind of mean? Rose Byrne. Byrne.
Oh, Rose Byrne, of course.
Yeah.
John Byrne. That's how I used to remember that.
Go away.
John Byrne's great.
Yeah, he is. I finally got. I ordered.
Yeah,
I had the first
ahead.
omnibus of John Byrne's Run of the Fantastic Four, and I've been trying to get a second one forever, but it was out of print.
It's fantastic.
But they recently re-released
when you get
it.
to the issue where Johnny there's that kid who's dying. Oh my god, I have that.
Well, I have his entire run, and I have a bunch of John Burns stuff. Almost all of his comic output, I think. But I have his entire Thing series and his entire Fantastic Four series. So I want to go through all those soon.
Maybe we'll get to the Fantastic Four 90s cartoon and we can talk.
It's like one season, didn't it?
Yeah. So was Iron Man. So was Hulk. Everything but X-Men didn't last.
Actually, I think the Silver Surfer cartoon would be fun, but hardly anybody's seen it. But it's on Disney Plus, so there's that.
Oh,
I love that cartoon.
It's not very long.
It's so weird and cool. It's almost like a Jodorowsky in Marvel cartoon. It's very weird, but it's cool.
Silver Surfer is that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
that's why I love Silver Surfer.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dan Slott maybe wrote the best Silver Surfer around. I love the Dan Slott Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Dan Slott basically turned Silver Surfer into Doctor Who, which I was very much excited for.
Oh.
No, it was good though.
Why would you ruin that for me?
It's true though. They gave him a companion, and he went around the world like
I know.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay,
I loved it.
Right. You're right.
I'm not making fun of it. It's fantastic. I love Doctor Who.
You're right. They did make him Doctor Who, didn't they?
But it's great. It's not a comment on how bad it is. It's a comment on how great it was. It's great.
Okay, as long as it's a comment on how great it is.
It sure is.
Okay. Whose point is it? My God, we're tangential tonight.
Third one? It's you.
Or you or me?
Well, I'm on my fourth one.
You.
It's me. Okay. This episode is a very strange, otherworldly, almost like Edgar Rice Burroughs kind of reality shaping, strange alternation. It reminded me a little bit of a film called Naked Lunch, based on.
Oh my God, Naked Lunch! I watched for the first time when I was like freaking 9 years old.
Yeah, well, Peter Weller's
that's not the right age to watch Naked Lunch.
It sure is not. Also, kind of reminded me briefly of like Cronenberg as well. So like Videodrome. Or any of those sort of movies. So like the strange.
You know what? Is Videodrome a good movie?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes. Have you watched it?
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen most Cronenbergs, and half of them aren't good movies.
Oh my God! I'm gonna bitch slap you. What ones are not good? And I'll tell you why you're wrong. Oh, you guys didn't like Crash, did you?
Crash is horrible.
No, it is not.
I mean, Eraserhead is good.
That's David Lynch. That's not Cronenberg.
Oh, crap. We'll get back to this subject.
Scanners.
Oh, I like Scanners.
Of course you do. This is amazing. Existenz. The Fly.
Videodrome. No, Existenz is not good.
Yes, it is. Existenz, man. David sorry, what's his name?
No, Existenz is not good.
Existenz is fantastic, and I'll tell you why.
Didn't he do what's it called? Like Scanners or something?
We just did that. Yeah, Scanners. The one that
no, not Scanners. The thing with the little like robots that try to kill everybody.
No, I don't think so. His stuff's mostly body horror. He did The Brood, which is fantastic. Rabid, Shivers. Those are his early movies. Crash.
Oh, Shivers.
The Fly. That's the one with the apartment building with the weird little bug things that go into your brain and make you want to just like have sex and fuck up people.
Yeah, it's like the Tingler, but sexier.
Yeah, it was kind of like the Slither, the James Gunn movie, but like way.
I love Slither.
Me too. No, Cronenberg can do no wrong in my mind. Existenz, Chris Nolan.
Oh no, he was in Star Trek Discovery.
Yes, he was, and he was also in Jason X as an actor too, which is funny. But Christopher Nolan.
Oh, you know what? Jason X is better than it should be.
it's fun in a ridiculously bad way. But Inception, the Christopher Nolan movie, owes a huge debt to Existenz. Huge debt. Because that movie, like Jude Law in Existenz, that whole concept of being within a video game and not knowing if you're in or you're out is mined deeply. Like I watched Inception, and then I went home and I watched this, and I watched Existenz like a few days later, and how deeply connected and close those movies are It's Nolan. Nolan definitely watched that movie and took notes.
It's Johnny Mnemonic, man, and that shit came out in like 1992.
It's way before, but yeah, that's true. All right, point 4. I like the weird Cronenbergianness of this episode. That's my point. You got a point 4.
Louis-son Swank has to meet Daniel if
100%.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it would be like a whole part of Miyagi's life that Daniel didn't know. So like that would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Shit, they could mine an entire another season of Cobra Kai out of that. Man, I love Cobra Kai. The music and everything too, like the 80s music and stuff. Cobra Kai is so good.
All right, 4th point, Devin.
Sam says we should do Spider-Man the animated series.
1980. The Amazing Friends.
No 80s.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, the Amazing Friends. You don't mean it. Look, Sam, I know you're young, but I think the series you're talking about is from the 60s.
No, the series you're talking about is from the 90s.
Is that what he's talking about?
I don't know. I don't know half the time what Sam's talking about, but I love him dearly anyway because he watched the show.
I think we love you, Sam. But are you talking about the 90s series or like Spider-Man where he never fights anybody notable?
There was an 80s cartoon that was just by itself, so that might be what he's talking about. That wasn't the Amazing
Friends.
No, before that.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
Yeah, there was.
No, there wasn't.
Okay.
Look, you look that up.
I will.
It went from Spider-Man, the classic 60 series, to Amazing Friends.
You might be right, but I thought there was another series.
That.
Oh no, I'm mixing it up with the live-action Spider-Man show from the 80s, the one with Nicholas Hammond.
You're right. Yes, you're right. No, that's terrible. No one should watch that. Okay, so my next point is talking about Proteus. Proteus in Greek mythology.
You already did this one.
Poetical man of the sea.
You already did this one.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
You did. It was your second
shepherd
point.
Of sea flocks. He was the subject of the sea god Poseidon. And his dwelling place was near the island of Pharos, near the mouth of the Nile River, or the island of Carpathus.
It's Carpathius, but yeah.
No, it's Carpathus.
Okay.
Between Crete and Rhodes.
Okay, that was your second point, David.
No, it wasn't.
How many whiskeys did you have tonight?
I started the same time as you.
Oh wow! Well, then I can hold my liquor better than you can.
Definitely can't. I am a legend.
Are you?
I am a legend.
Well, we'll have to put that to the test sometime. Maybe we'll record it and we'll do a drinking contest.
Not sometime. You, me, and Murphy are having to eat and drink off here in the next couple of weeks.
That's true. We should definitely do that. You did do that one already, but that's fine. I'll let it slide. My final point was all of those guys.
Yeah, really? Well, what else do I have here?
It's totally fine.
I can't believe I said no. I didn't get into that mythology.
Devin, you totally did. You totally did. I just listened to you say it like two points ago.
Well, I apologize. It's my birthday.
It is his birthday. So my final point is all of those aliens. I'll save this for the last. I thought it was cool. All of those creatures in the bar. Do you remember the bar? All those weird, crazy creatures that were hanging around?
Mutants and shit.
They weren't mutants. They're actually a group called TechNet, who is a group from Marvel Comics. They usually appeared in Excalibur. TechNet made up their group of bounty hunters from extra dimensional. They're extra dimensional bounty hunters. That if you look at all of those characters, they were all there. There was Body Bag, Thug. Pharaoh Squared, Waxworks, Gatecrasher, Ring Toss, and Fascination, which is where I got Fascin Andre from. Those characters.
Okay, about time we got an explanation for that.
Exactly. So it was because of TechNet. All of the people in the bar were TechNet members.
Excalibur comics were so weird.
I know, especially when Alan Moore is writing them. But anyway, fantastic. Alan Davis did most of it.
Well, Alan Davis did the art.
Yeah. No,
Claremont did the initial writing, and then Alan Davis always did the art.
Oh, okay. He did write it eventually, though. They were created by him.
Alan Davis
in Captain Britain.
Yeah, before the
Captain Britain. Well, Captain Britain was written initially by.
They did Yeah,
Yeah.
in the
They showed up a lot in the UK American, the Marvel Comics UK division. But yes, they are established characters. So,
which the UK division was basically just Captain Britain and the Hulk.
no, they actually. I have a comic. I have to go grab the graphic novel next time. But it's the I got it when I was in Scotland or Ireland, and it was a collection of all of a bunch of Marvel's UK. Marvel had a line of UK specific comics. They had 4 separate characters that are their own comics, and I have
Hulk was one of them, right?
No. They were unique to. There were new characters that were made for the Marvel UK line, and
Captain Britain.
This was no, it wasn't. They're all new characters. It wasn't anybody that showed up in the
Not
regular
even
Marvel
Captain
comics.
Britain.
Nope. I'll have to go find it, but it's it has all of these characters that were only UK exclusive Marvel characters that were new to just that series in the 90s. I think it was early 90s.
Union Jack? Like
No,
who?
I got to go find it, but I'll find it for you at some point.
Make that a freaking recommendation here in the next couple.
Well, I don't have the book. I'll bring it next time.
I believe that MZ says I believe it was an 80s Spider-Man that looked like it was made in the 60s, but the 90s is by far. No, there wasn't. There was, unless you're talking about Spider-Man and his amazing friends, there wasn't. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, MZ.
All right, so I found the comic. It's called Marvel
series.
So the collection I have is called Marvel Frontier Comics. It's Forgotten Gem from Marvel UK. It was Bloodseed, who's a barbarian character. There was
Conan,
Child of the Voyager, James Owl. The comics were called Children of the Voyager, Dances with Demons, Mordegon Goth, who is like kind of a Constantine character.
Terrible.
Immortalis, Bloodseed.
God, they sound like rip-off Marvel characters.
Well, they're not rip-offs. They are Marvel characters, but they're Marvel's UK division, so they're unique to that. Just characters that never ever popped up in the regular
characters and made like a British
they never popped up in the regular and the ones over here. It was kind of capitalizing on the UK fans, but I believe Mephisto and other characters from Marvel Comics do appear in them. So there was a slight connection.
Did you hear that the next Marvel Halloween special is going to be a Mephisto special?
Well, he's supposed to be in the Ironheart TV show.
We'll see about that, but apparently the equivalent this year of Werewolf by Night is going to be a Mephisto special.
Well, the rumor is Sacha Baron Cohen is playing him.
That's what I heard.
And he's going to appear in Ironheart first because the villain in that series is going to be the Hood.
Ironheart's not going to come out before that Halloween special.
Well, the Hood is going to be one of the villains in that series, and they're going to connect him to They're going to connect him to Mephisto, which is where Sacha Baron Cohen will come out. Well, that he makes a deal with the devil to get his powers.
Instead of getting Infinity Gems, which is how he got it in the comics.
The Hood didn't get his powers from Infinity Gems.
He did.
Okay, that was a retcon for later then.
He did.
All right, cool. All right, so are we done with our points?
I think so.
All right. Next segment.
The only other point, I feel like we did 2 points each, but the only other point I had was that, like, the little bitch scene came up again. You made such a big deal out of a little bitch.
Yeah, actually, Charles had a good reason to be a little bitch. So, like, I have to retcon my.
You have to retcon.
I have to retcon my.
You owe Xavier an apology.
He was.
Everybody here comes in.
Charles Xavier, I apologize for my untoward behavior. I didn't know the full story, but I know you were correct in your reaction. Moira did you dirty. Did him dirty.
So dirty. She didn't wait 2 months. I mean, we don't have a timeline, but I feel like she didn't wait 2 months.
Seemed like 2 months.
It seemed like 2 months.
All right, next segment.
MZ said,
yeah, no, you're totally right.
Exactly. And that was from the 70s, MZ. No worries. You're probably a young man. You know what? I wasn't born in the 70s either, so don't worry about it. Neither was Andre. None of us were born. I'm older than Andre. If I wasn't born in the 70s, you can bet damn sure Andre.
2 years older than me.
2 years? I thought it was 1. Jesus,
I'm
a
37.
Man. Enjoy that youth while you have it.
I will. I got 2 years to enjoy it before I'm old and decrepit like you.
Man. Just wait till like things start to hurt for no reason.
Oh,
like, seriously, this arm has been broken for like a month, and I'm like,
Kevin,
what's
I'm a
this
professional
arm?
wrestler, man, and things have been hurting since I was 20 that haven't stopped. So
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You know, get yourself a Hell in the Cell style match.
I will someday.
Look, here's a question for you. If you could Hell in the Cell anybody, who would it be?
Like at any point in their careers, or just anybody now?
Sure. Well, both. Give me both.
Mick Foley, if it was anybody anytime.
Oh no, that's too easy. Get out of here.
The Undertaker.
No, come on.
What do you want me to pick? I'm giving you the ones I want.
Entertain the people.
Undertaker.
Like that's the Hell in the Cell match that happened already. Like,
okay, Kurt Angle is my favorite wrestler of all time. So Kurt Angle.
Why is Kurt Angle your favorite wrestler of all time?
He was the best technical wrestler. He was great in the mic. He was a good villain. He was a good bad guy. He was the best at everything he ever did.
So that's pretty good. So you and Kurt Angle in a Hell in a Cell.
Sure, I'll do it. 100%.
Fuck, I'd watch that. I don't even watch wrestling anymore.
You don't wrestle the fuck out of me, but it would be fun.
Oh, but you're bigger than him.
Probably not by a lot.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
He's not big.
All right, segments. Let's go. I want to go to bed at some point tonight.
No, you don't. We're like rocking it out hard tonight.
Okay. Oh, this is like your party? If this is your birthday party, let's go to the ball. I've already watched you get drunk.
Look, I've been sick for the past like 5 days, so this is my birthday party.
Syphilis?
Like, I've had like I have a baby. I have a baby that goes to daycare every time she comes home. I am infected with.
Honestly, I have a friend who I had a friend who just got married, and his wife had 2 kids before, and he's sick like every second week.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. I'm just waiting for my immune system to be like, yeah, we got this. But like
it doesn't happen. It's because the kids are just petri dishes. They just keep passing it back and forth forever, and then it gets stronger and stronger.
And their friggin' immune systems can adapt. But I'm like, look, I'm almost 40. I can't adapt to this shit. Like, stop bringing this shit home, But they don't.
You're just gonna have to not let them go to daycare anymore. Just homeschool.
Oh man, I'm pretty much doing that anyway in the winter.
Oh yeah, you'd be good.
I'm a seasonal fella. I would be a good teacher, actually. I'm just waiting for Edith to understand every bit of English, because I'm like, I keep putting things off. I'm like, look, as soon as she can understand what I'm saying.
Edith?
Yeah.
Did we ever talk about this before?
What do you think my daughter's name was?
I don't think I knew what your daughter's name was.
Yeah, it's Edith.
Oh, it's my grandmother's name.
Wow. That's amazing.
Edie for short.
It's a great old name, man. Yeah, exactly. She's Edie for short, but it doesn't really fit her. She's more of an Edith than an Edie.
Edie sounds younger. I met a girl that was like in her 20s.
And she's not very young for her age.
I met a girl that was like in her 20s a while ago, and she was like, I have an old name. I was like, what's your name? She's like, oh, it's Edith, but everybody calls me Edie. And I was like, oh, it's my grandmother's name. So it is an old name.
Beautiful name.
It is a nice name.
I love the name Edith. Yeah, man. I think that's awesome. Is that your paternal or maternal grandmother?
Maternal. My paternal grandmother's name is Mary Louise.
Good one, too.
Also still alive. They're both in their 90s.
Well, here's the thing. So my daughter on the way. Oh my God, this is our longest episode ever. Already. Anyway.
We gotta fire through these segments.
It's my birthday.
That's true.
So
special Davan birthday celebration.
Yeah, exactly. So my grandmother, his middle name is the X-Men connection. So my grandmother's middle name is Jean.
Oh, really? Jean?
Yes, exactly, Jean Grey. And so we're naming our new daughter that's on the way Ursula Jean after
that's sweet.
Jean Grey and my grandma.
I still think an Andrea would be all right to throw in there. Maybe a Jean or Ursula Jean Andrea.
Look, if I accidentally have a third, it's all yours, bud.
Perfect. I'll take it. My middle name's Julie. My middle name's Julian, so you can call her like Julie or something instead if you want.
Your middle name's Julian?
Sure is.
You know what? I once had a best friend named Julian. He was an exchange student from France. We lost touch, but he loved me, and I loved him. But anyway.
It sounds like a one magical, confusing summer.
He was French as fuck. Like, he would throw a cigarette in someone's face just to be funny. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
That sounds like a Frenchman.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Sounds like a Frenchman.
He was so French from France, you wouldn't even believe it. But, yeah. Right? What's France? Chill out a little bit.
Hey,
Check this out.
What do you got for us?
I'm
Okay,
first?
so I'll go quick.
Okay.
So the original Proteus saga, I know I'm the guy who like ties everything into the comics. The original Proteus saga goes from Uncanny X-Men 111 to Uncanny X-Men 128. And I only have one comic from that era, and that is Chaos in Canada, Uncanny X-Men 120.
Nice. I like whenever they
And
go to
honestly,
Canada.
it's a bit of a tangent, and it doesn't have much to do with Proteus, but it's part of the Proteus saga. So if you get the epic collection of the Proteus saga, this is in it. But so read the Proteus saga. I'll have another Proteus recommendation next week where we talk about Proteus Part 2. But read the original Proteus saga, Uncanny X-Men 111 to 128.
Excellent.
You don't see him again for a long time after that.
All right, I tried to pick something that was relevant to, be careful what you wish for, having too much power, that kind of thing. So what I landed on was a series that I have a great fondness for. I'm afraid to reread since I bought this collection because I don't know if I would like it as much as I did when I was younger, but it was Marvel Comics Darkhold, in which a small demon character.
Afraid to reread that?
A little bit.
Look, it's 90s,
I have such
so
fond
you
memories
should
of
be.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, just glancing at the art reminds me of the 90s comics. So
Honestly,
it was
the 90s art is what made me fall out of the 90s comics.
it was basically Marvel saw X-Files doing well on television and said, let's just do our own version of this. And they did. Written by Chris Cooper and J.M. DeMatteis, who is actually a cool writer. And then a bunch of different artists. But
J.M. DeMatteis does a lot of good stuff. He did
that how you
Spider-Man
pronounce
for
it?
a long time.
Is that how you pronounce it?
DeMatteis, yeah.
Man, I've been pronouncing it wrong my entire life. DeMatteis is
I've
what I've
corrected
always
you a few times in this regard. Look,
never.
I have an uncanny ability to understand name pronunciations. I don't understand where it came from, but I've always had that ability.
So the basic idea behind the series was there's a group, a book which has appeared in Marvel Comics, most specifically recently in the Doctor Strange movie called The Darkhold. It was shown in the WandaVision show as well,
and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Yeah, but that's out of canon in the that's a parallel universe according to.
I feel like they're bringing everything back in.
Yeah, but it exists, but it's another timeline.
Characters. We'll see about that.
Because in the regular Avengers movies, Coulson has been dead the whole time. He's never come back. So that's all side story. But the idea that this book, the Book of Sins,
I think they're gonna redo all of that. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't want to see them do a Flashpoint and restart everything. I'd rather than just have a Secret Wars with parallel universe version.
No, they're not going to do a Flashpoint. They're going to be like, this was always the case in the first place.
Nah, I don't think anybody cares enough about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for them to bother going back and do that. The show's there. If you like it, go watch it, which is fine. It's a great show. I watched it. I liked it. But in this series, basically, there's this small dwarf character who shows up and gives random people who are having troublesome lives a page from this book called the Book of Sins, the Darkhold. And with this page, people can alter their reality and get their dreams. But it's one of these be careful you wish for situations where having the page gives them powers and allows them to alter their reality in a way that makes their lives better, seemingly. But in the end, just cause a big mess. And there's a government agency that's set up to investigate this stuff and try to reattain these books or these pages from the book, which they do. And so that's basically it. There's three main characters. There's like kind of an older black woman who's an oracle. There's a younger white woman.
Montesi, is that her name?
Yeah, Montesi, yeah. And then there's the younger... I'm surprised. Did you read this growing up?
Yeah, I did read Darkhold.
Yeah, I liked it.
I was all into Marvel until about 1993.
This is the trade that has the whole series
this is
in
getting
it.
bad, and I backed out.
So there's the...
it started in like 1991 or 2.
There's a straight edge white guy who's basically Robert Patrick's character from X-Files when he joined the series, who's just a straight edge FBI agent. But he has a dark backstory. Everybody does. And then there's this girl
he is like the agent who has like the mystical backstory.
Yeah. Then this girl is like connected to the demon that had the book. I mean, all these.
Funny they never brought Montesi into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
No, they still could someday. It was a very strange series.
Do you think that show's coming back?
No, but they could throw in the Marvel Universe somehow. I'd actually like to see this become a series on Disney. I would watch the show. It's pretty cool. Like just people investigating the
Tales
occult
of the
side of the Marvel
Darkhold.
universe. Yeah.
Well, what do you expect from that, like, Agatha show?
Oh, that's a good point.
It's got to be the Darkhold show, right?
Well, the
Like,
Darkhold got destroyed in the.
What the shit else could it be?
So Louise Hastings. So here's the phrasing in the book. And when the once you get your hands on the Darkhold, you'll be dying to read what's inside. And when long lost pages of the Book of Sins begin to resurface, cursing those who read them with vicious twists on their secret desires, it's up to Victoria Montesi and her Darkhold redeemers, Sam Buchanan, who's the FBI agent, and Louise Hastings, to keep them out of the wrong hands. As the mysterious Darkhold dwarf spreads chaos and powerful pages wreak havoc, the redeemers send a little help from Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, and their fellow Midnight Suns. But whose side is Modred I forgot about Modred. Modred the Mystic on. With dynamic forces on the rise, can the Redeemers prevent the rebirth of Chthon? How do you pronounce that one?
Chthon.
Oh, okay, good. I was right on that one. Because it sounds like Cthulhu. When I was a kid, I always thought Chthon.
No, it's
so so this dwarf would show up, give you a page from this book, you get your darkest desire, but it will warp everything. These guys come out and fix it. There's also a tenuous connection.
That's where Wanda's at in the MCU right now.
So, like Marvel Comics, everybody that ever shows up needs to have some weird connection to some other character in the Marvel Universe. And Sam Buchanan was the one in this series who actually was connected to Weapon X and worked with Sabretooth in the past for the government. And there's actually a crossover. Sabretooth shows up and, they have some fun stuff with that. So there's an X-Men connection.
That's like a good book. What do they call that book?
Darkhold, page from the Book of Sins. It's the complete collection. It's all the comics. One big volume.
It didn't go very long. I probably like.
No, I think there's only. It contains the comics 1 to 16, Doctor Strange number 90, and Midnight Suns.
Okay.
So probably about 20 comics all said and done. A lot of cameos. Anyway, that's my comic recommendation. Check it out.
Here's a question for you, Andre, from MZ. Have you ever worked with any ex-WWF, WWE,
a bunch.
AEW? Yeah, the genius.
I worked with Lanny Poffo. I worked with
Lanny Poffo was a great fella, man.
He was. He was actually a good friend. I knew him well, and we used to talk even up to.
He was a good dude.
I worked with Lanny Poffo.
I appreciated him back in the 80s when he was just like clearly more modern than everybody else.
Yeah. I've been on tour with a lot of the guys, but people I actually wrestle would be that have been in any of the big things. I wrestled Lanny Poffo. I wrestled Hacksaw Jim Duggan. I wrestled
Hacksaw Jim Duggan
twice in Newfoundland. I wrestled.
Did you beat him?
No.
Oh, that's bullshit.
I
could totally beat Hacksaw. Yeah, I could beat Hacksaw.
I wrestled one of the Bushwhackers, Bushwhacker Luke, a bunch of times.
Did you beat him?
I don't remember. Probably not.
Damn it! Did you beat anybody, Andre?
No, because that's not how wrestling works, Devin. They bring in these names to wrestle. Oh, I wrestled Gangrel.
Your ass every time.
I wrestled Gangrel.
Promoter.
I wrestled Gangrel. Not in the promotions where I wrestled these guys. I was just a wrestler.
You know what? I was a wrestling fan at the beginning of Gangrel, and he sucked.
He's actually really
never
good.
Into the Gangrel thing.
I wrestled Rhino. I wrestled.
Who's Rhino from ECW?
Yep.
Did you beat Rhino?
No, it was a tag match.
Did you beat anybody, Andre?
Nope. Worst wrestler ever.
God damn it! I think you're better than all these guys.
Well, I'm not the one who. I'm not going to let you in a little secret, Devin. Wrestling's not real, and a lot of these guys come in and they want to look strong because they're a name, so they just put them up against whoever's around, and then you lose to them. It's fine. I don't care. It's a gig. It's like being paid to be in a play. If I'm in a play and I get shot in a play and die, then I die, and that's just how it works. That's what wrestling is. You put on a good show. The ending is irrelevant more often than not. Oh, Carlito, I wrestled him a couple times.
Who?
Carlito. They have the apple. He used to bite and spit in your face.
No, I don't know him.
He's Carlos Colon's son. He was like a big wrestler in Puerto Rico. No. I wrestled quite a few people here and there over the years.
I like that you wrestled the genius because
I wrestled Stone Rockwell from Impact.
Thanks, MZ.
Yeah, few guys over the years. All right. Oh, also, I've been and also just thinking about trippy dream logic. I've been reading Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It's a great book. Another side connection.
I mean, Hunter S. Thompson was a good writer.
Fantastic writer. I just watched a movie at the movie night I host recently, and then I thought I'm going to read the book, and I love it. It's great.
Why did you guys do Fear and Loathing or something?
We did last Friday. Yeah. We're doing Lady Snowblood this Friday.
I don't know that one.
The old Japanese revenge flick. The character Rishi Ren from Kill Bill was heavily based on this character.
Rishi Ren. Who was that? Like
Lucy Liu's character.
Yeah. Okay. Lucy Liu's character. Did we do? Oh, we didn't even do. Did we do? Hey, check this out. Did you recognize the comic yet?
Yeah, that was Dark Wolf.
God, we've been to. Okay,
we so just did it.
This is our comic reminiscences and recommendations segment.
We just did that.
Oh, wait, I did. Oh my God, we did. Okay. Look,
okay, we're on to the movie. We're on to the movie.
It's my birthday.
We're on to
Don't
the
worry
movies.
about it.
We're on to the movies and video game portion.
We certainly are. And as soon as I find that, okay, what? Where is it? Look, it's my birthday, everybody. Please forgive me. My VCR, it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it is. My remote. I'm interested where your remote's going to go tonight, Andre.
Well, I actually don't have. I don't actually have a physical copy of this, but I have a sort of tenuous connection. So there was an old TV series back in the day, hosted by a certain gentleman named Rod Sterling, that was very popular.
You're talking about the
Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone, man. Rod Sterling's one of the best writers of all time.
100%. So this series was very progressive, and he did a lot of amazing episodes in the show that you know, have permeated in culture and kind of stuck in and spawned off tons of other sort of one-off shows.
Man, people should be praising Rod Serling.
100%. I actually really enjoyed Jordan Peele's take on it that they did a few years ago, which is well.
I haven't seen that yet.
It was good.
I do like Jordan Peele. So.
But there was a particular episode in this show which is relevant to the connection to this episode of the X-Men show, which was about the kid, the town where there's one kid that can control reality.
Cornfield?
Pardon?
The cornfield?
No. Wasn't that from Children
Send him to the cornfield.
That's Children of the... Oh, yeah, that's right. What was the name of the episode, though? It was like the kid who was everything.
Not the one you're talking about?
No, you're right.
Starring Bill Mumy?
Yeah, that episode. I can't think of the name of the episode, but there's an episode of the show where there's a kid that has these powers, and the whole town's afraid to offend him because he will, fuck them up in different ways.
To the cornfield.
However, they did revisit it in a movie, which is what I wanted to take Joe Dante's segment of the Twilight Zone movie. So if you want, my movie recommendation is the Twilight Zone film and the Joe Dante segment about this kid with these powers in this whole town.
Is that the one that had the Stephen King playing the Hick?
No, that was in Creep Show.
Yeah.
Different movie, but also a really good movie and fun movie. I might show that this year. The movie nights I host for Halloween.
A good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, so check that out. That the Twilight Zone movie has got segments by Joe Dante, John Landis, and some other big name people in it. So check it out. But anyway, the Joe Dante segment is the one about the storyline. And in fact, on the new Twilight Zone series, they do a sort of takeoff on it where a kid gets elected president. And they're sort of making fun of Trump in it, but it's very good. Jacob Tremblay plays the kid, and it's good as well. So check it out.
To say any kid elected president would do better than Trump.
We'll see.
No, we'll see.
No, I agree with you. I mean, Trump is a child. It's the same difference.
No, he's a shitty child. There's children. My child is way better than Donald Trump.
What were you doing? Playing with matches?
Look, it's actually funny I haven't mentioned this yet because I've talked at length about how great X-Men for Sega Genesis is, right, Andre?
Mm-hmm. You sure have.
So there is indeed a sequel.
Ooh.
And I
didn't
haven't
know
talked
that.
about it much, but it's X-Men.
Oh, I
2:
remember
The
that.
Clone
Okay, I do
Wars.
remember that.
It was very good. Some people say it's better than the first one. I don't agree, but it's still a great game. The two best X-Men games, in my opinion, are probably X-Men for Sega Genesis and then this one. Yeah, check it out, everybody. Like, buy a Sega Genesis and some old cartridges or whatever, like Sega Genesis Mini or whatever exists these days. Get it, get some X-Men on it, and have a good time.
I think Spider-Man and the X-Men was my favorite X-Men game. But Bone Mill
But
because
it's like
Spider-Man was
not
in it.
nearly as good as these two games, or even X-Men Adamantium Rage.
Good
Spider-Man
point.
and the X-Men was not as good as it should have been.
Yeah, that the
And I had it for Game Boy.
Wolverine's second level, where you have to fight Juggernaut, was impossible to beat.
It just wasn't very fun.
Yeah,
That's the problem with it. With Spider-Man and the X-Men, it just wasn't very fun. Whereas, like, the X-Men games for Sega Genesis are super fun, and so was Adamantium Rage. The only problem with Adamantium Rage is it's only one player, and I hold serious bias against only one player games.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like video games are for like having fun, or like why not just watch a movie? If you're gonna be by yourself, just watch a movie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, playing games is for like friends, man.
It is a nice way to connect.
That's what I feel like. Modern video games is forgotten. Modern video games are for like one player experiences that last for like too many hours, where you could just like have some fun.
I recently got into like the games that are kind of like playing a movie. You have to make decisions and that progress the story in different ways depending on whatever you do.
That's what my partner likes. Those types of games.
I played Until Dawn, and I like that game a lot. And then I got the new one, The Quarry, by the same company, and I'm really digging it. They're fun games. If you like horror movies, it's like playing a really good horror movie and like having a part in it. So it's interesting.
I feel like that's a good
but it's it's almost like watching a movie
for
that you're
video
part of.
games
Yeah.
is to play horror movies in a video game form. I think that's a really good avenue.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting to the end of this. Oh, so what else we have left? Oh, there's one segment we have to do tonight, Andre.
That's it. The game?
Well, you'll see. No, we did that already, right?
We didn't play a game.
Yeah, I said X-Men 2. I said X-Men 2. Oh, the game. No, it's not the game.
Okay.
Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm
What were you
finding
doing?
this.
Playing with matches?
What? No, we did that already, Cyclops. Get out of here, Cyclops. You haven't been in an episode in like 10 episodes.
That's true. He hasn't been in an episode in quite a while.
Cyclops. Seriously.
Yeah.
Or Jean Grey. Leader of the X-Men?
Of the X-Men.
You're the leader of the X-Men and you never show up for work? Come on.
He's got his wife back from being possessed by Phoenix, so they're just boning hard.
Hey, look who I found coming to join the party.
Glad y'all decided to join the party.
So, glad we all joined the party. So we did learn a little bit about X-Men 97 recently. You sent me the link.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a situation where Wolverine and Storm are trying to reform the X-Men with the absence of Professor Xavier, who's gone off to the Shi'ar Empire to hang out with Lilandra and heal from his near-death experience, which we'll get to in season 5 of this podcast.
Sure will.
But what we also have learned is that Magneto enters himself into the situation. He's just like, you know what? I can take over for Xavier. We're pretty much the same guy, except not. So that happens. And we also learned that the main villain is going to be Mr. Sinister. Christopher Britton, hopefully, will appear on this podcast at some point.
Have you reached out to him?
No, but I'm about to. But Mr. Sinister has been written so well in the last few years. Like, if you were to pick the best X-Men villain of the last even 10 years, it's probably Mr. Sinister.
Pretty great.
Certainly of the last 5 years. And if they bring any of that storyline into this new series, it's going to be so good. Like, he is playing the X-Men so hard right now in the comics. So, I'm looking forward to this series, really. And you know what? Did you watch Lock and Key?
I hate it. I love the comic, but I hate the show.
Yeah, Christopher Britton was in that, though.
Oh, that's a shame. The comic is so good, and the show is like so not. I mean, whatever. I'm happy that
season was okay.
I'm happy Joe Hill's making money off it, but man, it's not. It does not feel like the graphic novel, and I love the graphic novel so much.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, X-Men 97. So Mr. Sinister is the main villain. You could get literally 2 seasons out of that because he's.
Yeah, I hope they bring back Apocalypse.
He works the behind the scenes game in the long game. Like, seriously, long game. If you've ever seen a character in comics that works the long game, there's no more than Mr. Sinister. He's thinking like 100 years ahead. And so I'm looking forward to that. That's there. Party like it's 1997 segment.
Nice.
Oh man, I can't wait. So October, where this shows, we have just enough time to finish this podcast in time for X-Men 97.
Awesome, we're gonna be set.
Look, we're meant for this show. Oh wait, we do have another segment, don't we?
This is where you talk about the other shows in the
Quidgibo.
Oh, not Quidgibo.
All I need now is for you to contact your students, Professor.
We ain't talking about all the other shows in the United Federation of Podcasts?
No.
All right. Well, check out my other show, the Graphic Histories Podcast, this Friday.
That's not the homework.
That's before this usually. So you don't need to hit the segment. I'm just saying, go check that out. I have Robert Maillet on it this episode, which is coming up, who is in 300, and Robert Downey Jr.'s Sherlock Holmes and Pacific Rim. Great talk, great chat.
A legendary figure here on the East Coast.
That's true. Former WWE superstar as well. We talk about wrestling, why he was. Bruce Pritchard recently said in an interview that he was too nice to make it in the WWE, and we talk about that.
I agree, he was.
I know, but why would you want
with that? Because I agree that that's the case.
Yeah, well, we discussed it.
I saw him wrestle in the local scene here quite a few times.
No, he's fantastic. And knew his character well. But yeah, we talk about that. We talk about working with Guillermo del Toro. We talk about working. There's a movie that I think a lot of people slept on that he was in. Oh, hey, Lebowski.
Immortals. Hey, Lebowski.
Yeah. Did you hear the episode
I've never
already?
Seen Immortals, but based on your.
I posted on Facebook.
I want to go see it.
Yeah, it's Lebowski. We got the vet sent me a
the remaining kitty story.
I know. It's all right. The vet sent me the Klaatu's paw prints today, so it was an emotional day.
Oh, I have a kitty in a box upstairs.
Really? Still the one that died before Millie?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, why is he still in a box? You can't bury him in the winter?
No, because it's like keep it cremated in a box.
Oh, he's cremated. Okay, we didn't say cremated. You just said in a box. I thought you had like a frozen cat in a box. Okay, I was gonna say, is it in a freezer? Like, what are you doing? Yeah, we're waiting for Klaatu's ashes to arrive. Jen has Presley's, but I might hold in her office, but I might put Klaatu's in here because he was kind of my boy. But Lebowski's still here. So, anyway, check that out. Robert Maillet's interview drops this Friday. Great episode. This is episode 96. I'm getting really close to episode 100. So I'm trying to figure out something special.
What are you going to do for episode 100? Is it going to be
I don't know. There's a lot of pressure. I feel like I got to get somebody important, but I don't know. It's tough.
So me and you.
Let's do this again. Drink and then go off on tangents for 2 hours. Actually, you know what? I would like that.
Here's a good episode. You and me yell at Murphy for an hour.
You know what? I don't want to shut on Murphy. I like Murphy, but I feel as
I
though
like
for
Murphy
guy
too. I've known him for 20 years.
That's true. I'm looking forward to meeting him in person. Actually,
yeah, we're gonna have dinner here real soon. When's that happening?
Yeah, well, let me know when he lands, and we'll play tonight. So anyway, yeah, check that episode out. But anyway, your homework is to watch episode 2 of this two-parter, which is season 4, episode. Jesus, what episode was this in season 4? I closed down my
11.
link to the Disney
11.
Plus. Episode 11. This is 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so watch episode 12, Proteus Part 2, in which we get the full
originally was season 4, episode 5. So
it's it's so fucked. Like I have to look at I have to go on Disney Plus and look at what their order of episodes is to know what the right order is, because it's different on almost every website.
There's never been a series as discombobulated as this series.
Well, I'm glad Disney put it right, but it still fucks you up when you're trying to find stuff online.
It really does.
But anyway, yeah, go watch episode 2 to be ready for next week.
MZ says he badly wants Strife.
Yes, that's a good. Strife would be a good villain we haven't seen yet.
If we're gonna focus on Cable, certainly go Strife.
Well, we have a 4-part Cable specific episode coming up at the end of the season, so.
Are we really?
Yeah, the one with the
Apocalypse one.
Yeah, but it's got what do you call it? The Phalanx and a bunch of other people. Forge is in it again.
No, Phalanx comes later.
Oh, is that season 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, it's Apocalypse Cable episode.
And
we never had Nate Gray on the show, have we?
It's recommended that Weapon X lives and videotape be watched before the Lotus and Steel. Really?
Not according to Disney Plus, but yeah. What
look, MZ, we're gonna follow the Disney Plus order, but if you turn out to be right, we'll give you.
Well, we'll chat about it. That'll just make it more interesting.
Yeah. Because supposedly they corrected everything, so we'll see.
Nate Gray's never been in this series, right? The X-Man.
No. You know what? I hate Nate Gray. Nate Gray is the worst character ever.
I want to see
X-Man Dan, friend of the show, who's been on the show before.
Yeah, I like X-Man Dan.
And we fight about how good or not good Nate Gray is all the time.
He was a very 90s character. But I want to see Onslaught. I really want to see Onslaught in this series.
We definitely are going to see Onslaught.
We got to see Onslaught. We got to.
You'd think. Like Xavier could always come back that way.
Yeah,
they'd bring back like Magneto, and then like Magneto or Xavier comes back from the Shi'ar Empire, but just this is like psychic form. Who knows? There's lots of ways to make that happen.
100%. 100.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is our longest episode by like
sure
45 minutes.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Do we have anything else? Yeah, let's wrap it
thank you for coming.
If you support the show at Patreon/X-Men Review Show, contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. And please like, review, and subscribe. And we are a proud member of the United Federation of Podcasts. This is our longest episode ever, so I'm going to power through all this stuff. Here's a United Federation of Podcasts right there. Look at it. It's gorgeous. Andre came up with that nice logo there. We have Hold Up, a movie podcast, which we talked about a ton tonight. There's also Super Mater Brothers, where they talk about reality shows. And you know what? The May Mater Marvel Society, where we review Marvel things here in the Super Mater Brothers format. And also, hey, Andre.
Yo.
Hold on, I'm going to fire that up. 1 sec. Yeah. Voted a bit, but what's happening over there with Robert Maillet and the
yeah, check it out. Robert Maillet, I think I talked about it enough. But Robert Maillet over on my show this Friday, which is a great conversation. I had a good talk about wrestling, about how he got into film, about 300, about Gerald Butler, about the Immortals. Which,
Gerard Butler.
yes.
What
The
is
Immortals.
he in with Gerard Butler?
300.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Does he not like Gerard Butler?
No, they get along very well.
Oh, okay, very good.
So yeah, all that good stuff. Check it out. New episode this Friday. Don't know who the episode after that'll be, but I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Well, it can be me and Murphy if you.
Just us arguing about movies for 2 hours. That sounds great.
Oh, man.
Actually, that sounds great.
Well,
that's great for me.
You feel like you have a lot to say about
I do.
our podcast.
I do like movies, so I have a lot to say about the subject.
And also the How About podcast with Alex Blackburn and Michael Chan. And have you listened to that yet, Andre?
No, I've been listening to your show. So once I'm done that, I'll move over. I had Michael Chan on my show. It was a great interview. We've been talking online a little bit. He actually bought one of my wrestling shirts. I sent it out to him, so I'm waiting to see
the old school Andre Mayat t-shirt.
Yeah, he got one. So you wanted one. So
man, I gotta get one of those.
Let me know.
Let's hook it up.
All right.
And also KBBBL podcast. Where oh my god, I think I got.
What's the extra B in this episode coming up for?
Geez, you'd have to ask Francis.
Okay, what's the episode? What was the B in the last episode for?
What was the last episode? Was you know what? You have to ask Francis this sort of thing.
Fucking Francis.
He's in charge of the BYOBBs. Oh my god, I feel like I broke my mouse pad on this computer. My god. And also there's Trivial Debates. That's a fun game show as well. And also, oh my god, I totally did break this computer. What? Oh my god, this is a new computer. Murphy, you told me this computer would last me 10 years, and it's already broken. I can't click. I can't click on anything. Oh my god.
All right, we gotta wrap this up, man. It's been a million years.
Oh my god, all right, we're ending this now because my computer's broken. I can't click on anything. Oh my god, how do I even get rid of this? Oh my god, stop.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude. It's like,
oh my god. Like all my mouse buttons are stuck when I try to click, like nothing happens.
No, you got out of that, so it must be working now.
Yeah, I mean, like 10 clicks, it works. So we're getting out of. Oh my god, it's broken again. Oh my god. All right, we're getting out of here. Any final words, Andre, before I desperately get out of here?
No, just be kind to each other. We were talking about my cat who passed away, so give your cats a snuggle, your pets a snuggle, and
do that.
Enjoy each other.
Yeah.
And wish Davan a happy birthday on social media. He's a great guy, and he deserves happy comments.
Aw, thanks, man.
Bye, buddy.
1, 2, 3.